love you guys, and I also want to wring your neck. So medically, one could declare him a psychopath.
That psycho, Lauren D. Laguna, does that all the time.
I want to create a place where people are like, oh, wow, Lauren is the place I could go to express my idea if that is difficult, where I might be shut down in other places. I want a free speech channel.
It is Lauren D. Laguna. I fucking knew it.
Hey, thank you so much for being here, Illumitommy. How are you?
I'm doing great today. How are you?
I'm doing well. So I just want to start from the beginning. For those who don't know you, you're somebody who used to go on a channel that you would now consider kind of a cult community. Is that correct?
I would say it's incorrect that I was ever mistaken about who and what they are, as I watched for a couple months before I even bothered to infiltrate, you might say.
So would you consider yourself like a sociologist who went on the excursion into a cult pretending to be a member so that you could learn more about this group and study them from the inside out? Is that who you say you are?
No, I'd say I'm a person that is all about that responsible individual freedom thing, and I found them in that direction and quickly lost respect for them in that regards. And yes, I would say there's accidental cult aspects. I wouldn't accuse this guy of on purposefully doing anything that intellectual or layered.
Okay, well, I don't think that like all cults or really any cults necessarily are. Well, I don't know actually what percentage of cults are started with the intent to create a cult. I think it's basically just the intent to create a community. But I just wanted to ask you about the behaviors that you saw. So when did you start joining? When did you start talking to them? And were you originally just in the chats, or did you jump on panel initially?
Well, I originally found them through a YouTube channel called High Impact Flicks. It might not have been that channel at the time because the owner, Brian, has had like 3 different channels from YouTube strikes. But he advertised them based on some drama between him and, well, not him, Brian, but him, Paul. He had drama with Zach Hubbard, who has like a channel about gematria and stuff like that. But I'm not sure which one made Paul more famous. It was either trolling cops in Denver for no license, no registration, or it was the beef with Zachary. But one of those or both together is whether he knows it or not.
Trolling cop. Can you explain both of those situations, starting with the trolling cops thing for no license, no registration? Because so before we continue, I want Henry to show a video of Paul to get an essence of who he is, a quick clip. And then can we talk about you're a person who's like for freedom, and you would consider yourself part of the. Okay.
No, I wouldn't put myself. Well, if you want to play the thing, you can roll the thing. But I don't consider myself the same as what you think of with the Sov type, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think that the states are allowed to require driver's licenses?
I would go into a much deeper aspect of everything's allowed when you have a monopoly on force, you know, like technically you give small mustache a win and all that's allowed, you know. It's whoever has the monopoly on force. It's not morally right, but as far as societies and systems and governments, it's can the peons do anything about it?
Okay, sure. I can understand that much more than I can understand where they believe that they could just do what they want because they think it's morally incorrect. Okay, go ahead, Henry.
Tenuous, smiling while inside you're crumbling. Okay, you're quiet and desperate everywhere else, but out in public, you got a big yap because you got a big ego, but there's nothing behind it, right?
So you don't think you have a big ego?
It doesn't matter. I have stuff behind it. Let's say I do. My ego's huge. I have stuff behind it. You don't.
So, I mean,
how could you have a big ego with nothing behind it? If I have something behind it, it makes sense why I might have a big ego, because I got something to show, right? Get where I'm going with this?
Seems like you have to bring up my name a lot, though, to make.
No, I don't. No, I don't. Oh, the moose is here now.
Oh, what is up?
Look, dude, I'm here to say, just please, just stop, man.
Please, well, stop what? I haven't talked about you. You're going on her show on Monday, she says. I've been done with you for a week. You all keep talking about me, punk pussy.
Hi, Lauren.
You all keep talking about me. You deleted your whole channel yesterday.
Yes, I deleted my channel.
You never apologized to me for everything you did and said. Get the fuck out of my face in life. Telling people public information is not doxing. Punk Howard, it's public record. If you don't like it, don't be a broadcaster, Punk Tower.
I'm not going to be.
Then shut the fuck up and get out of my face. I ain't talking about you or to you anymore. You can't handle this life, punk pussy. Go back to bed and breakfast. Go back to bed and breakfast.
Look,
I'm doing you a favor. I'm helping you and your family. Go back to bed and.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
Okay, so there's several things that I would like to point out about that. So I had a cult. Okay. Cult expert says people who refer to themselves as familial terms are cult leaders. He refers to himself as someone's daddy, even in that clip, well before the cult expert came on. He's screaming. He's talking about go back to your bed and breakfast. He's doxing somebody for offering to go on my channel, which is against the cult rules, which is typical cults. So is this something that you've seen? Is this a pattern of behavior that you saw among him and his group?
I'm responsible for what you just watched. I'm going to put the proper filter up there because that man will never see the Heath Ledger Batman movie again and not remember my ass, because Moose was his right-hand man. Like, he was his Harry. He was his producer. And when he finally figured out he needed to get out of that situation and raise his family, he respectfully said, I got responsibilities. They showed him off with the proper, all right, man, go do your thing. And I just casually kind of pointed out that Moose had been talking all the poop about that's how he was going to take care of his family and climb this streets ladder. And I was like, you just going to let him walk away like that? And it started a fucking civil war among all these smaller channels that were involved.
Okay. So I just want to back up. So before this civil war began, what was this channel and how long did it last? And what was the concept?
That's what put him on the map with like the channel I watched and why I came and checked it out. And, I kind of partook in the parts you're talking about where what it was this discussion that you might want to have about where do we draw the line between what one hairless monkey can tell another hairless monkey to do with their lives, And it's not that anymore. It has become a chat full of people that go to all these other shows and come running back like, oh, this show's live. We should go fuck with them. Oh, these guys are live. Like half your chat. I don't know if Harry's going to monitor it. I would tell Harry with the chat today, if they want to say any poop talk, only the monetized chats are allowed to talk poop today. Because, yeah, it's just a troll fest now.
Let me just pause you. So you talked earlier about the trolling the Colorado cops. What was that? And how long ago was that?
I know some of it was during mask time. I just realized, like, I had found Paul and then eventually checked out his old videos before I had realized, Jesus Christ, all his claim to fames of getting in cops and employees' faces at places over licenses and masks and stuff, that was all where I lived. And I had I thought it would have been funny to come across that on the street. And
so what was he doing? Can you explain like what he was doing?
there's one video where he does. I actually like this and respect this, that he does get by with no driver's license, no insurance, no registration, and not just gets by with it, but the cop like agrees with him, because it really does come down to the individual cop doing the job at this point in American government as to whether you will go.
So can you explain what happened in the video? Was he driving around and he got pulled over?
I assume. I mean, I can't remember the video verbatim, but I know he gets off with it. He's not the only one on YouTube that has successful videos of.
You're telling me that there's a video of Paul driving around without a license, and then he takes the time to film this, and in the film he explains to the cop that actually driver's licenses aren't required, and then the cop agrees with him and then lets him go on his merry way.
He could have. Let me say this: unless you want to play that video, I have seen enough that.
Yeah, if anyone wants to has that video and wants to send that to Henry, the producer, we will absolutely play that video. You can email it to henrytheproducer@gmail.com, or you could put it Illumitommy in back chat and we'll play it.
I don't know if this is the thing. Like, I just don't want to quote anything I haven't watched, because I do have a rock and roll background. I've seen a lot of I've seen as many videos of success as one probably can find. I don't want to blur my memories of each video. I think the last time I saw Paul's was when a channel called Welsh News Network was watching it.
Okay, yeah, Welsh News Network is a fan and a friend of the Lauren De Laguna channel. So, is this the video? Let's.
A video, please. What's that? Let me just start my video, please. Your video? Yeah, I'm just gonna record this interaction. Okay. I need your license and registration. What makes you believe that I need that to travel from point A to point B? Because you have no license on your plates on your vehicle, sir. Would you like to see my paperwork? Yes, I would. I asked for it 2 seconds ago.
I think it's a little hard for an approach.
I have here the definitions from the Motor Vehicle Code. I have the Supreme Court decisions and everything you need here to understand that I don't need a license, registration, or any documentation to travel from point A to point B. It is a right that has been preserved by the Supreme Court and the law of the land.
See, when I say it's up to the individual cop, and each time this isn't a good.
Keep playing the video. Keep playing the video, please, because I am curious.
We're doing Mystery Science Theater, Henry. Come on, doing Mystery Science Theater.
I just want to know: do we ever see the cop car? Do we ever see lights and sirens, or do we just see some guy dressed as a cop talking to him?
Henry, as long as we're commenting, it can be played for commentary.
So driving is doing commerce where you're employed on the road. I don't need to present ID unless I'm in the commission of a crime, sir. I have not committed any crime.
You violated traffic law in the state of Colorado.
The definitions are right there, sir. If you'd like to go to court, we can handle it.
I need your ID, okay? I need your license, insurance, registration. You're operating a motor vehicle.
Did you even look at my paperwork at all?
Sir, I'm looking at your paperwork.
Did you read the definitions? The Motor Vehicle Code definition is in there. It says driving is doing commerce on the roadway. I am not doing commerce. I am not employed. If you could please get a supervisor out here, I'd appreciate it, sir.
Okay. This must be the Paul that claims cops love him and thank him all the time.
Am I obligated to turn my car off? I'm not intending to go anywhere. I'd like to handle this matter and settle it right now. I have no reason to leave. Why would I do that?
Jump to the end. Jump to the end. Because I just want to see where the cop says.
Deliver them a message that touches their spirit, so that they can open their mind and heart to the truth that we're all supposed to be experiencing.
Hitting them with that Jack Talcott shit at the end.
Well, I appreciate you talking to me about it and stuff like that.
I appreciate you having a care in your heart, man. There's not many people nowadays who care for anything, let alone truth and what's right.
It's a crazy world, right?
Oh, there's people with cams for things.
And that's why we need to do our due diligence and we need to be vigilant as far as serving truth, because we can serve our belief system.
At any point, I don't want to watch the full film because it's 32 minutes long.
He wants to, man.
But
listen, if you're trying, if you want me to say his title is a lie, then fucking yeah. If he didn't have the full footage of it,
does he get a ticket during that encounter? Does he get a ticket?
I don't know. Did it show the whole stop?
I don't know. Henry, can you just scrub through it and see if he gets a ticket and put in back chat for us? Because if we just ain't got time for that. But the point is, you have to drive with a license, and I'm sure he got ticketed for that. I'm sure he didn't just get away scot-free. Someone in chat say something. NJ Jeep Girl says no, he doesn't. There's no way he didn't get.
No Jeep. New Jersey Jeep Girl says no, he don't, because that bitch has called herself the girlfriend of a married man. That's the shit you gotta have the pay for, Robin.
Every single person, man, woman, or troll needs to be respected in chat, please. However, so let's talk about it. So he had the thing with the trolling of the cops. He eventually stopped doing that, didn't he? I wonder why he stopped filming doing that. Anywho, and I don't think that's much of a ticket. I don't know. I don't know what the fine is. So I don't know what he faced or if he got charged or what. However, you do need a driver's license. Okay. Even if you think it should be unconstitutional, as you said, the powers that
Wait, are you telling me though? Did you bring me here to tell me I need to have a license?
No, I'm just saying that as a liability in case somebody watches this, and I'm trying to become an attorney, and so I don't want someone to later watch this and say.
Good, because I am pro. When you say liability, I am pro mandatory insurance coverage, and I can get down. I can get down with no license and no registration unless you're maybe a geezer that needs checked out yearly for your condition and driving. But
then don't you also agree, like children, and there should be some sort of person checking to make sure that you have
don't quote me on the case because I don't give a fuck, but you should find out as an attorney. One of the earliest cases of no license, no registration was an underage kid who, under those conditions, were the only one that could get another underage kid home, and they let it fly. They said, yeah, that was a proper no reason not to let him drive situation. That went through the court.
Okay. Well, maybe under private necessity. Maybe. I don't. Well, even that's for civil
Henry,
liability.
search it. I bet you'll find it in the next couple paragraphs of our conversation. It's not hard to find. I don't know what I'd search because I saw it because YouTube recommends me shit like that. But that happened, and others that I can't even cite.
We should definitely talk about that. But today I kind of want to talk about just what is the
But I needed to stop you on one thing before we move ahead. I think everybody in the chat, as every person, should be heard. And once you're heard, I can decide whether I respect you or not. And that bitch that just quoted, I don't respect her for a number of reasons.
Okay, well, I don't really get much control over my guests because I get walked over, but that's fine.
No, how you do this, Lauren, is why I'm here. Because I like how you do this shit.
What do you mean?
I mean, if I put you on a weight and Oprah Winfrey on a weight and it's perfectly balanced on who I'm going to pick, oh, well, you got that you're not on them flight logs, Lauren, so I'll take you over Oprah any day. Camera shake for Paul, please.
Thank you. As soon as you said talking about putting me and Oprah on weights, I was a little bit concerned, but I feel that. I appreciate that. I think even that it's a compliment, so I'm going to take that. Yes. Okay. So let's continue. So he got big during COVID for the non-registration thing, which makes sense.
No, he didn't get big, but while he was on my streets, like my outside this door, he was on my streets rambling stuff off to businesses that just wanted him to put a mask on. And I'm anti-penetrate my body shit, but if an individual business respectfully wants me to wear a mask, that is that man's business and livelihood, and I can give a mask to my fellow man. You can't penetrate me with anything, because men have tried to penetrate me The feminists love that one. But yeah. So I don't agree with getting up in people's faces over masks, punching each other. And then the people that punched each other, Lauren, they got over it while the CDC shit was still in effect. And even the face punchers on either side of masks didn't give a fuck before the CDC dropped it.
Well, okay. I hear you. So Paul was out there. He was doing he was going to businesses complaining about the masks. He was trolling cops with the license and registration stuff. He got big on the YouTube streets, and then he started. No. Then what happened?
I'm stopping you at the "he got big" part. Just stop there. That's the part where you're wrong.
Okay. So then he got medium on the YouTube streets, and
he is infamous in the alleys of the tower that is YouTube.
So then he started this community, correct?
He found the lowest demographic that will follow a channel like that. Yes, I'd agree to that. Here's the thing. Here's the big picture, Lauren. He's got some good, proper ideas up here, but he's an oaf that I'm offended to have to say that ain't me, you know? And I was like a blonde woman watching gorillas for 8 months. 6 months.
You were a blonde woman watching gorillas?
Who's the chick that lived among gorillas for whatever, for National Geographic?
What, Jane? Like,
shout to Gen X. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Okay. I understand. So, so he started this community, and do you feel like he has rules within this community that people have to follow?
Do contradictions that only suit him in the moment count as rules?
Sure. Like, are there?
Yeah, there are rules one must follow, but the answer to a rule isn't always the right answer, and you can change which one you should be by which one I am at the moment.
Can you elaborate on that further?
There's this kid with a public Zoom call that other people call channels that he is the embodiment of everything Paul would just rip and burn on in the norm as a beret weighing, fanny pack wearing, dancing alone on cam for YouTube streets. That's everything me or Paul would just dissect and make fun of. But because I went on his public Zoom call and old Boyd with him and was good with him, Paul had to make sure he was definitely brought into the fold to keep numbers down on an army I'm not building kind of shit. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the stupidest use of art of war shit. What?
Are there punishments for breaking the rules?
Well, you saw his right hand, he's the Christed one, so I don't know what the Christed one's prodigal son is called. So you saw him get doxxed over leaving, and all I had to do was say, hey, he talked like he wasn't leaving, and then he left. Are you going to take that, Paul? And I regret the damn that unleashed on some of these channels. Ian.
Okay, well,
I mean, I'm not sorry for Ian's stress, but sorry about all that, Ian. You cuck.
So, is there anyone in particular? There's 2 people in particular I want to talk about. Can you tell me, were you there before or after Jack Talcott? Like, who was there first? You or Jack?
I always talked to Jack like I had gotten there first, but when I did a little look back in preparation for this to refresh that Rockstar background, God help me, I found him before my first one, and he had been there, like, starting what happened to him, But yeah, he's been there longer than me.
So
I don't want to say I'm there. When I started studying this channel, he had already been there, but I guess I came in on a gap. The same way I heard a lot about you and we still never crossed that panel at the same time. I even asked Paul questions about you over your beef I heard about through him. After I taught them the sign language of humans, he told me about you, Lauren. He told me about you in the sign language I taught that channel.
Sorry, who told you about
When
me?
I was Jane, Lauren. When I was Jane with the monkey.
Jack Talcott told you about me, or Paul?
No, Paul. I'm sorry. I see the miscommunication. No, Jack Talcott, he's just been there since before me.
What did Paul say about me?
About you? I just always heard of some lawyer that's after him and that you had been on the show. And I would just ask about the specifics. Like the first time I really just came into realizing I'd just be playing the heel out was you gave him a set of conditions for the interview for him to not come on here about still. And I asked him what those specific questions were or conditions, and he told me. And then I told him about an idea for a channel I had where two people could come on and not have any upper hand in a debate between them. And he lost his shit. Like he lost his shit. It was the stupidest idea he'd ever heard of and shit. And it wasn't until the Moose saga and that Civil War that he even started leaving to other channels, because he'd just stay where there were no mods in the chat and he controlled who was muted, who was kicked. You know, all the basic power grab stuff you get from small genitaled individuals.
Yeah, I don't really like to discuss people's genitals, especially what those I'll never see and have no desire to see.
Well, it's a term in a patriarchy type world where like women couldn't always have their shows, you know? They watched the shows, but women couldn't always have a show. And that's kind of just a remnant of the language back then. It was a term.
Yeah. So he had the no driver's license issues with the cops. Then he has the community. Now he has Jack Talcott. Jack Talcott has been there with him since the beginning, right? Does Jack Talcott follow the rules, and has Jack Talcott followed the rules for the most part until recently? And what rule did he break initially that set Paul off? And also, Henry, while he's thinking, can you pull up all of the thumbnails with Jack Talcott in them so that we can look at how obsessed he is with Jack Talcott?
That's what I'm thinking about, man. Like, here's the problem I don't deny I run into with people that I work on every time I see myself in this problem. It's like we have a limited verbal language that over a couple of centuries, and especially in American pop culture, each individual hairless monkey is walking around saying the same words and not meaning the same thing. That's where you run into this paperwork side that I'll support those cult stupid ass motherfuckers on. I feel like they all need the daddy they're looking for to teach them how they're right about these your straw man isn't you shit. That's correct, but you can't be this fuckboy about it every time a badge with a gun is until you change that. You've got to keep yourself alive. Maybe treat the cop like your basketball coach.
Okay,
if you played basketball.
Can we address
Aryans? I swear, they're always assuming things.
Sorry, what?
The left, the racist. Like when I say you should treat the cop like your basketball coach, meaning respectful, and if you played basketball, but the left will say I'm racist, dog whistling, because they're racist.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna. Okay, so this comment, can we address this comment here? Do you know Radio Guru?
Oh, you mean I gotta read? That won't fly on the Unslaved channel. Don't make them read. Just have pictures.
Oh, I'll read for you. Tommy's here for revenge.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, this is what I told you. This is what I had told you, man. The chat. I even warned Henry. Every email was like, "Trust me, dude." I told 5 different channels in the Civil War and my own Snapchat that I never talk about. I knew people would be here for what they think is going to be a shit show. I think it's pretty successful so far. This is the message I'd like to get out. I hope I'm not ruining your Oprah Better Than show.
No, I am a free speech channel, and I want people, including Paul, if he so chooses, to be able to express their opinion. I just think that Paul has been a little bit creepy and territorial over people and possessive, and punishing people for disagreeing with him or for not doing as he wants. We can have Henry, whenever he wants to pull up a clip of Paul freaking out or wants to show. Do you know what it was? Yeah, I want to get back to the Jack Talcott stuff. What was it? How long was Jack Talcott on good terms with Paul? And then what was it that set Jack Talcott off? Like Paul off on Jack Talcott?
I would translate that as when did Jack actually start just taking up for himself? Because from the first time I saw Jack's appearance, I mean, I know the subtleties. I already knew when I started watching what I saw advertised between him and Zach Hubbard, and how that's occasionally rewatched for content to rebask in the Uncle Rico moment of that time you went to state and beat Jack Talcott, and how much you want to bet Paul can throw his registration over them mountains. Like, yeah, they definitely do that shit. Jack is a guy that was on YouTube 5 years ago. Jack's been on YouTube longer than Paul has been on YouTube. Jack's been on YouTube since before Paul was probably out of an institution. He's been here 5 years. I don't know how to gauge that. But yeah, just one day, maybe after a little side coaching over a platform we wouldn't be heard on, maybe Jack did find a new confidence in the situation through knowledge is power, through the same awareness I've given others who are currently my unspoken league of channels that hate Paul. It's real Games of Thrones shit, man. I developed this over lockdowns. I found the joy of being smarter than scammers and schemers, and that crossed over to, oh my God, YouTubers are doing Zoom calls? Jesus Christ, I'm going to go fuck with this shit. But you have to be, I wouldn't fuck with a channel that's trying to find a cure to cancer, Lauren. You have to be a shit show for me to fucking try and put a wrench in that.
Yeah, okay, let me,
No, we're being targeted. That's his Wi-Fi issue. We're being targeted.
So
I made a name for myself in the government and the street. This is what little military police training this is.
Our government is not within our country, so
what's that?
Henry
yes. I know about your scheme, Lauren. You should just tell your grandmother that you live with your boyfriend rather than try and say he's your overseas producer. Come on, Lauren. I'm kidding.
Are you
Go
serious?
on. Yeah, I'm just.
Yeah, he definitely does not live in the United States.
I know. I've watched the email back and forth. I recognize the time zone difference, and that's because we're on a globe, Lauren. Time zones are a globe thing. Fuck you.
That is true. Are you looking at the chat, and is that upsetting you a little bit?
I have no regard for the chat because I respect a platform that is there, that says they're there to hear what I have to say about something, and they do that. To reference the chat, you do it fine, I guess. But when I spent that time living among monkeys, the chat, this is what you're looking for, Lauren. he only will use on behalf of himself the chat that is for him, that bends the knee, that glorifies, that assures him that thing is bigger than I think it is. And then if the chat is negative me, oh man, it's up on the screen all the time. But any rational adult person with a family that finds themselves speaking in that chat to maybe question the man who claims he wants his bullshit called, that's fuck the chat. Once that stuff happens, oh yeah, the chat is trash. F the chat.
So I've been getting this sort of stuff. So I want to address this really quickly.
This guy, oh no, Lauren, we got to address the comments. Yeah, I recognize Fatu Snacks.
Address this because I do have a free speech channel. I have somebody who's accused of beating his wife with a dog on my channel. We have flat earthers on this channel. We have sovereign citizens on this channel.
That's what comes with the free speech, Lauren. You gotta have the Discworlders if you're gonna have the free speech. I agree, it sucks.
Right. So anyway, so I'm trying to give you a free space to speak, and I will not talk over you. And that's a really annoying thing when you get accused of something on YouTube. You always get talked over as you're getting peppered questions about it. So would you like to explain the accusation that you are either a meth head or the accusation that you have threatened children? Because I don't even know what that accusation is about.
In the sense of people who obviously have never seen Game of Thrones, as they're being little fingered or drinking little guide all the time. Even right now, they're tossing me these underhand balls, man. Yes, Lauren, because we already ate mild among monkeys, and then I handed them the mic for their turn, and they repeat what I said in my freestyle turn back to me and raise their hands in victory. Yeah, Lauren, I'm Gen X. I'm tail end of Gen X. I'm 43 years old, and I spent in total, not even as a string, but I would say I spent all together in sections probably 3 years of my 43 years using Breaking Bad methamphetamines, despite 7 years of my life only assisting those not blessed with things in their skulls, wiping asses of men who had the eyes of Jesus as their only communication their entire life is trying to play 20 questions, yes or no, with the people who get frustrated carrying them into showers. Yes, 7 years of that over 3 years of meth. I'll take that in front of any religious deity and take whatever they got for me over it.
You had tried meth previously, but you don't anymore? Is that what you're saying?
I had been tricked into trying meth by an alphabet community who had a thing for lying biblically with straight men, and you don't find a lot of them that do that. So, yeah, I had taken a mystery cocktail by a guy I had known for 5+ years that had money transactions with the guy, virtually a free car when my car broke down, free Audi. And those all sound like, yeah, obviously he's trying to groom him. But I disagree. I think things don't go down as long-term like flat earthers think of, like long-term big group conspiracy shit. Yes, go on. You have to stop me, Lauren. It all interconnects.
I'm sorry. Like you don't. Before? Robert Redmond once. Did you say something about carrying kids in showers?
No, I said something about palsied grown men who have never known the freedom of walking down a field. And my particular couldn't reach the joystick of his electric chair. You just analog game controllered him around malls and Walmarts while you walked beside him. Yeah, we didn't. There's a different way that I think children get that. That's the type of shit that I'm like, make these lowbrow motherfuckers pay at least fiat to your cause for this shit. I didn't read what Henry respectively had said because I was on.
Oh, he just said that his Wi-Fi is down and that he's British.
Yeah.
Brits.
Well, you wouldn't have the females running their shows without leaving the British, you know? So it's everything's good, Lauren. Everything that's ever happened has been required for any good that's come in your life. It's all butterfly effect. It all sounds crazy until someone's on a substance or their deathbed thinking about it.
Yeah, I was actually wanting to ask you about, can you explain a little bit more about that situation? So you knew this person on YouTube for 5 years, and did they send you this mystery
Jack?
concoction?
You mean Jack?
You just said that you had tried meth accidentally with a mystery concoction, and I was just wondering who sent that to you and how the alphabet community and how that happened.
I don't want to say the alphabet community because I also know gay dudes that they're offended by how far that alphabet is getting. Like, they just wanted to be gay dudes being gay dudes, and now they're expected to take up for letters who haven't decided what their rules are yet, you know, and I respect that. What you're asking? No, this was a guy I knew personally. I had met him through veterans of America's current wars that I trusted, that I knew before I met this guy. And I mean, to say you got no issue with alphabet people, I have to say, yes, I did all the typical things you do with regular friends with this dude, including partying. And it's not that, like, I was the one that had already done drugs and agreed to do drugs. It's just I know from the way this dude talked that he would say, you know, I know some straight guys that are only straight till they do shit like this. And he'd say stuff like that. And I was in my gym prime with my veteran friends back when GNC would turn into an illegal product after you consume their legal product. I make no mistake that this dude was probably trying to party me into a little good time.
So are you
Lauren, I'm a straight man. I know about the marks on the headrest. I know why dudes scratch marks on the headrest. That's egoic. I stopped counting long ago.
So are you saying that gay people are the reason that you tried meth?
No, but a gay man is the reason I tried it against my will for the first. Every time I did it after that, that was my choice. But I was never going to try it until he mystery.
How many times you've tried it since?
How many times have I tried it since? I said for a scattered 3 years of my life, I probably did it on and off.
What got you clean?
And people like to throw, like, as soon as people hear that, they'll throw addiction. For the rest of the time they ever talk about me, they'll add in addiction. And it's also a case of build 1,000 bridges and suck one cock, you'll always be a cocksucker. Because I've also achieved in this world of strawman number cards that keep our accounts of electronic money that's soon to be tokenized, I've beaten these people on all fronts. But because they know that I used to do a little Adderall, a little illegal Adderall, that's forever what I am to them. And the fucks I could give, man. The fucks I could give.
Have you tried sucking a penis before?
You mean like a fake penis or a real penis?
Either, I suppose.
No, Lauren, but if I did, I wouldn't tell you that now, and I'd hit up the guy that tried to party me into that time, and I'd say, the nerve of these fucking white girls. You know what I'm talking about, man? Like, did you see her? Like, no, forget that shit I said about, I guess, like, you don't have to worry about me because somebody stabbed you up anyway. But no, I think I was his friend, that I just see there was way too much effort in the way that I've seen straight guys, like things old Huxtables were accused of one way or the other. It's like, it's just people, man. I'm not saying gay dudes do that. I'm saying dudes do that. And some dudes are gay.
Okay. So going back to the 3 years that you were struggling.
I was never struggling. Let me stop you, Lauren. Never struggling. The years I was doing meth, God damn it! I can only say this shit because I never have to be in an interview again, Lauren. The years I was doing meth, I had a college degree job in science, which made me a project manager for a low voltage system that was invented over the act of 9/11 happening. And meth got me $1 an hour raise like it was nothing. A pat on the back by technicians and like, good job. Whatever kids are prescribed Adderall for, I might be misdiagnosed, finding my stride in the Breaking Bad, you know? Because there's others like me out there that I've come being open about things that I'm not ashamed of, because why be ashamed of something that didn't hold you back, if not questionably boosted you?
So for the 3 years that you were smoking meth, how often were you smoking meth? Was it every day, every week?
I would probably say the technique was like microdosing according to how I felt when I thought I was going to use it, because I had a specific regimen to use it, probably like you would do if you were the small mustache that came the closest of conquering the entire planet. Not a fan. Don't let this look fool you. Not a fan. But that dude was using it. His military was using it, and it's the claim to fame for these stars and stripes. God fucking bless us. Yeah, man. So what do you want? Everything is the individual. I'm not telling anybody.
So you said you stopped 3 years ago, right? And how did you go to rehab?
No, I was never addicted. I don't get addicted to things, Lauren. Do you know what people get? Like, usually, if you think of addiction and heroin, I never was into heroin. I don't do heroin. Maybe we could talk about Paul about heroin. But whenever I went to heroin people to get meth, yeah, dude, that's not as much addiction as running from a sickness that is indefinitely coming for you when you stop shooting that shit. That's what they're trying to avoid. I can get through any after effects of any drug, because none of it compares to like West
So what
Virginia
made you stop? What made you stop?
West Virginia dad discipline beats any drug that could try and grasp my.
What made you like stop using meth?
I don't know. I'm trying to gauge it. See, I don't really watch the dates unless I'm in paycheck desperation cooking. So I don't really follow dates unless it's for stock market, holidays, whatever. I'm trying to think of how I even.
When was the last?
Near the lockdowns or not lockdowns. I don't know. What's the significance, and I'll narrow it down.
When was the last time you even if it was just a one-time thing? When was the last time you used?
It was probably in the apartments I was at before these, and it was just to show a user there that I could hit his stuff. Like, he believed me that I was done and didn't have any. I hit his pipe once, and I said, I'm going to come back and see you every day till I move, and never asked for that pipe. I just sat there and had one good session with him. So knew what?
How long ago was that?
It was sometime during lockdowns, because I moved to here during lockdowns because I was sick of Lives That Matter shooting my building and leaving the bags they stole from places all strung out with what they didn't want left in my hallways and shit. Takes a
Okay.
village, to tell you what.
Okay. Did you experience any dental issues while you were trying meth for 3 years?
None whatsoever, because the gay dude that offered or got me on it when I didn't know what it was, he was a big enough man to, like, the same way I'll sit here and say kids don't try that because your parents already prescribed it to you anyway. Same way I'll tell people don't try it expecting my results. That dude was very clear, like, you just keep up on regular hygiene and it doesn't do anything. And I agree. I haven't had any teeth problems. You know who does? Meth users on the street that don't have a toothbrush and don't worry about that shit. They look all skinny and scabby because they don't eat food, because meth takes hunger away, and then meth is probably as cheap as their food. So the conditions of what you think of as a zombie or a malnourished, decaying person, a lot of that is living through this climate change out on these real streets, not these YouTube streets. Like the reason meth has a show that is so famous, the reason it's got its grip so deep in society is because you can use it under the radar and excel/progress.
So the last time you hit a meth pipe was during lockdowns, but have you
to show an addict that it's as easy as sitting down a bag of bricks? It's just all up here, man. There is, don't get me wrong, there is a short one with meth. It's not like running from that train spotting style sickness. I've never had anything like that off meth. But if you do meth for a long time, not eating and not sleeping right, when you come off of it, you're going to feel that. I've never gotten a real hard crash from the substance because it's one molecule different than than Adderall. Adderall and Breaking Bad, one molecule different. Sometimes that'll kill you, Lauren. H2O, fine. H2O2, last thing you ever drank. But in the case of
took a pill.
What?
When was the last time you took a pill?
What do you mean a pill? Oh, you mean like Adderall or Ritalin? I've only taken each once or twice from people that had prescriptions, and it was only after I had done meth that whenever I heard how closely they were related in a chemistry sense, I was like, well, let's go find out for ourselves so we can spread the message on Oprah's show that, yeah, you prescribe that. You prescribe it to your kids. And I've done all three, same show, Lauren.
Have you tried heroin before?
What?
Have you tried heroin?
No, I'd never shot any drugs except for one cycle of steroids, and I got that from our veterans, God bless them, because they're the only ones. I mean, I don't care how straight edge or unpatriotic one is. If you knock heavily geared men who want to pull each other out of life or death situations, juice away, my friend. God bless you for taking that onto yourself, the same way I'm taking this Breaking Bad message on myself. Ooh, one guy has to be known for doing meth, but now everybody that ever sees me knows. Prescription Adderall to kids and college students because you didn't want to maybe discipline them. Yeah, that's same show as what I used to have a Grinder account as a straight man specifically to find meth dealers. When you asked me about that story about how I ended up trying it, that's how I knew where I could find it. Hey, if my gay friend is willing to get me on it to see, that's how you're getting all these piggy parties from the willing, is a lot of that community, they get the best Breaking Bad.
What was the last substance you took?
Marijuana, sitting here on your show.
Okay.
Can I make a disclaimer to the to both our alphabet community that I support the freedom of, as long as not making a beeline for children's education? Can I give a positive spin to that? 10 years ago, 10 years ago, before it would ever get shot up, I was a bouncer at Club Q in Colorado Springs. Made a lot of friends. Still met a lot of straight girls. Straight girls party at gay clubs, dude. But yeah, I don't have a lot of bad stories about Club Q, except the manager who was my age, who I butted heads with. Still love the dude. Still respect him as a who would have been in school with me. I respect the guy, but I was right about how I was wrong. Read between the lines, Paul Unslaved.
Yeah, going back to Paul Unslaved, how long have you been following Paul?
Counting the pre-game time of seeing just what a basic bitch he is, altogether, up till now, where the cat has been out of the bag, even though I've said it over and over again. They finally starting to believe that maybe I've been fucking with them. Maybe this is me still acting eccentric for my the release show, where it's like, okay, move on whenever I hear this shit after this. Repeat the question, please. It wasn't going to be too much about Paul, even though they all thought it was going to be about Paul.
Following him, so like around approximately 2 to 3 years.
No, just Harry, look for High Impact Flick, or Paul has the video on his channel on Paul Unslaved. Whichever one Paul finds of Brian from High Impact Flicks. I waited a little. I watched a little bit after the date of that video. Like, that's how I found him, among other people.
You want me to look for?
You don't have to if you're not into the whole exact date thing that I'm definitely only about if I'm in one of those maritime courts. I might use that to my advantage. But man, if you're really hung up on it, it was I started studying him around that time.
Okay, so let me pull up his. Okay, so you can see his screen.
Be careful when you're telling the kids to pull up. That means new shit these days. Remember when I said we're using the same words and they mean different things? Now, pull up, that's street talk, not YouTube street. Because I'm telling these monkeys to pull up. I'm very describable and findable. You don't have to tell me you're coming.
So which videos are you talking about?
Back there where it was yellow. That might, if it says Brian's coverage, but it's like when Brian dropped that video, which was in Paul's case probably the same day Paul started fronting it. What date does that say? Is it like 6 or 7 months ago? It might be the one that
I was younger.
Yeah.
It's the one where he showcases the beef with him and Zach Hubbard from Gematria. Because maybe Brian covered the no license one first, and I didn't. If this is the no license one, it might not be that. If it's
talk to me as if I know the entire history of Paul Unslaved, but you're supposed to be the Paul Unslaved expert.
I only know what I know since I got there, which what I've seen transpire. It's like, who cares before me? I'm just talking about, I saw him from a show I already liked. I thought I was going to dig him, and I started seeing the stuff early on that these people have obviously stopped commenting too much about when they saw how that was going to go. But this is their chance, Lauren. You can have the tea. I'm okay to drop names. I'm okay to admit to the shit they think they're calling me on. They're free to drop the tea. Just give this lady $2. Even when I was mad at Paul, I dropped the $2 to make sure he heard. And it added up over time, like $160-something every time I just wanted that dude to have to see what I was saying. He's free to have it. I know he used it on guns when he was acting like he was hard up for a place to live and paying rent and shit. And then after my eventual donations of hate money, then he's like showing off the Beretta he bought with it. I'm a Beretta owner. I didn't even take it as a slap in the face. I just said it's typical of scammy people, of shysters, of the schemers. They think they're scheming, Lauren.
I agree. Okay, so
everyone's mom that's met me is going to tell you to hit the like. I tell you that much.
Yes, yes, everybody's mom is going to tell us to hit the like because moms are good people and they tell us what to do. So, okay, I kind of
No,
want
Lauren,
to.
I meant because the moms remember me and they hit the like. That's what I meant, Lauren. You're using different words than what I'm saying. Now, whenever I was growing up I went to 2 different private religious schools despite always living in the same house. That's when all moms loved me. Like the mow your lawn and praise Jesus way. They loved me. Every mom.
Got it going on. Those types of people. Can you read this from Radio Guru?
Okay, there's one residual PTSD from living among monkeys for 7 or 8 months. I think you're telling me this looks like bring it down, Tom. They're always telling me to bring it down. Ask about the hooker on heroin.
What do you mean by living among monkeys?
What's that?
What do you mean by living among monkeys? Did you live among monkeys?
Lauren, you got to keep up. We've referenced I asked you for the lady's name. I think I heard a Jane thing. We kicked off with an analogy for the lady back in the 80s that made her claim to fame from living among gorillas for like a year or 2 or something. That's what I equate my stay on the channel you want to bash on, get the tea on. That was me. I'm a college graduate who was trained in military, police, AIT. I was fucking with people, Lauren. I'm even fucking with you respectably right now. I'm just kind of, I'm having fun with you, but telling the truth.
Where did you go to college?
Well, I went to, it was a subsidiary of Virginia College in Alabama, but it was out here, Ecotech Institute in Saudi Aurora. That was just a straight shot from the Batman shooting. I'm like 2 degrees of, I'd say 1 degree of Kevin Bacon away from a girl that survived that shooting.
Wow.
Yeah, man, this doesn't have to be about Paul, Lauren. I'm a fucking treasure trove of real fucking shit that man makes his claim that none of it's true. Yeah. Let's do a little tea on Paul. Let's shrink that ego. And then just a lot of cool shit that people don't believe about me because they're remedial
people
fans.
People also keep repeatedly asking about this. Now, snaps. You can email me. Henry, the producer, is having Wi-Fi issues, but if you message me at Instagram, or you could message me on Discord, there's plenty of ways.
Henry, you're getting DDoS attacked, bro. It's just the plebs are mad that you're not interrupting me, that you're letting me talk. You're probably getting bogged down by hate and denial and lack of awareness coming through in email and chat form.
Anyway, do you know what Paul does with his donations?
Oh God, no. It's hard to tell.
Do you know about how much he makes?
No, but if the things I've only heard rumored through his fan club, as in the knee pad wearers, the things I've heard he might make are absolutely offensive. Not that one can make that much, but that what he's doing would make that much. I'm offended. When you talk value, listen, I'm a stonk. I made my fortune in the stonk market while I was doing Breaking Bad. Watch Wolf of Wall Street if you think that's a lie. They just used shit they were more preferable of. Yeah, man, I still have a value to what I'd pay thing. There's $6,000 a month condos in downtown Denver. I could win Powerball. I'm never paying $6,000 a month for a condo, and I would never pay what I've heard Paul might make for what Paul does.
Yeah. I just got to read the super chat. Ben.
Oh yeah, it's a math one. I love it. So yeah, speaking of the legitimacy of the Paul Unslaved show, one of their common come at me's and Henry, get your Google going. You go ahead and Google. No, Henry.
Again, Henry ain't here. You just pretend.
Okay.
I love.
Have the if we could Google. If we could Google.
Okay, let's get the Google machine.
No man behind the curtain reference.
There's no man behind. I am the man behind the curtain today.
But I thought you were. Hey, I got hands free. Don't worry about it. I got a guy that's not living with me with Gams watching.
What
you
would
want
you
to
like me to Google?
Oh, he's got the Wi-Fi issues. Okay, I got you. Google Jesus of Bethlehem. Maybe add mugshots. And then while you do that, I'm going to tell you the story. Yeah. So the first night I really leaned into setting up this tweaky counter character is Paul did his common tactic of taking long story short, they try to say I literally do the wanted. It's the wanted sign. Let's go full screen with the wanted. They try to say I'm literally that guy. You want to side to side screen me? Or I could bring a picture up on this TV of me when my hair and facial hair was like that. Him and the great Bible citing El Perro channel, they've been trying to sell that as literally me. And I think all it was a clever chatter had called me Jesus of Bethlehem one time. And so the first time I came out, they did the give the guy we want to fuck with the full screen and see how long it takes him to get awkward. And dude, I was having a good old time partying and shit. I sat on that camera for the rest of the night. I think they might have gave me till 2 or 3 a.m. I was freestyling. I was reading the chat and hating back at them. And we were me and some of the chat were having a good time, throwing zingers back and forth. But I took the rest of the night of his little Zoom call, just had a good time with my fellow man, which is what I missed over lockdowns. Drove me to fuck. Yeah. Notice the broken nose and cheekbones ever since small town Taekwondo redheaded boys that were more abused by their fathers than me. That is not me. That is not me. But they're willing to put the names of their channel on it, say that's that dude we don't like, Jesus of Bethlehem. And this was the day after I sat on his camera. He could have turned his show off all night. And I mean, just sat on it, man. It's something I can always reference somebody to, and look for this one. Watch for when I do this. Just looking back a little bit for this that I was never really going to do, and unless you wanted to do this. God, there's even so much I've forgotten about that I've been watching. Finding out Jack was there first, that the Ohio guy was there first, and he's got a gleaming white kitchen background only because I told him I knew he was in Ohio because I see that 70s dinge and you got that house from your grandmother and you ain't never getting that dinge out of those 70s model fucking, but he got it out, didn't he? He got that shit out. God bless chemistry. Science.
Well, that is a lot to unpack right there. I'm sorry that I accuse you of being the Jesus of Bethlehem.
No, don't be sorry. It's funny, Lauren. I knew it wasn't me, but when I woke up the next morning, when I woke up the next morning, he's on his show raging that he hadn't slept the whole night before. He's got a pounding headache, and he's tired of these meth junkie grifters that are living in a van down by the river, effing up his show. And that was the day I said, personal responsibility, bitch, I gotcha. Because you could have turned it off at any time. You could have said, we don't support these meth using down by the river van junkie. And he was the one living in his car at the time in somebody's mystery garage. I have the same Denver ghetto place with an extra fucking bedroom for my dog that I had when I was doing as much meth as I did. Well, I haven't done meth here. I did it at the old place before I moved. Yeah. So even before I was here, I still have apartments. And when I was homeless for 1 year in an RV on the streets, nothing to do. That was 2016, because that's when my accident was. This is when I had a badass job and my life was great and I was sober even after I had done meth at this this high ass job, I'd still quit after I got all comfortable, and I only used it for like overnight jobs that got me fucking bonuses and shit. For how I pulled off these night jobs with crews because I was focused and on my shit. My life only went to shit because of an SUV fight I took a motorcycle to and legally safely driving, and it crashed my life around me to have surgery and have to have my job be like, dude, are you coming back anytime soon? And like the surgeon even said I should have longer.
You said this
had nothing to do with drugs.
You said this was in 2016, right? And so that
approximately.
Would be, okay, so that'd be 7 years ago. But you said this was after you've done meth. But you said you've only done meth for 3 years and you quit 2 to 3 years ago. I estimate,
Lauren, if you're going to compete with flight log African-American women, if you're going to get to that tier, you have to pay attention. I said if I added up all the segments, it would probably add up to 3 years. But I've never just straight chiefed or anything every day gets old, Lauren. Jesus.
So wait, how many? Okay, when was the first time you tried meth?
Sometime when I lived in Colorado Springs.
I used to live in Colorado Springs too. Yeah, that seems like a place to try meth. I'll tell you what.
Well, I think it's a place where the alphabet community is forced to feel more alienated and degenerate, because when I bounced at Club Q, it was the only full-time, this is definitely a place for alphabet place, where they were their house and you were a guest. Because I'm the bouncer saying, hey, other cis guys like me, you're fucking guests here. Don't be fucking with my alphabet when I'm working this fucking door, you know? I'm a man of my word, and you pay me to do a job, I'll fucking do it. I'm one of the best bouncers off logic and rational to drunks that you will ever find. And at Cowboys, so you know Cowboys, right? When Cowboys was 3 stories, the top on a fucking bowling alley, and that shit was kicking, that's when I worked there with war veterans. That was years before I'd be tricked into doing meth. I was in my prime of the gym, man. Those were good times. But yeah, man, fucking Club Q in Colorado Springs. This is also the place where the guy with the biggest church is on TV talking about no homos, no cocaine and homos by any means. And we got him in the hotel room, Lauren. People like you, when they get on the streets and they do the on-the-site shit, they got him in the hotel room. And that was a win for hypocrisy. If you're out against hypocrisy, that was a win for you that day.
I am against hypocrisy, and it's always fun finding out that religious leaders are gay, drug addicts, and that's always interesting.
But here's how we bring it back to Paul. My only problem with that, hey man, if consensual of age men want to do substances in hotel rooms, expensive or seedy, it's their God-given, well, maybe not God, it's their goddamn right as a fellow hairless monkey that's not making a victim or damaging a person. That's their right. But when you go on TV as a Sky Daddy advocate and you say, brr, 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 gay sex and coke, and then we catch you with it, oh, no, man, no, fuck that guy. Take the building. But tar and feather this man, exile him into the other city. He'll go do the same thing in.
Okay, let me read the super chat really quick. Tonic sexually assaults women and ASMR, following women around, and meth and stuff. Okay. Thank you.
Truth Finder from the UK. Oh, he doesn't like to hear all this freedom of the individual shit. That's how we started this stuff, was separation of those fops. I mean, big shout to Welsh News Network. Those are rational, logical people you can disagree with, just like you, Lauren. Everybody go give that chance. Don't watch it for this kind of hype, but watch it when you want to see rational adults kind of make jabs at these YouTube streets that think they're building a career, you know? They don't have your structure, Lauren. They don't let everyone know what they're showing up for. They're going for gotcha moments. They just want to take every little thing you say and cut it up real nice, put it in the slap chop, say you're going to love their nuts, and reform it the way they want to make fun of you. It's all petty bullshit. It's nothing you didn't see in high school.
Well, you do
Fuck
have
whoever's donating the rumor amounts. If you people are Patreoning that much a month for this fucking garbage, Tommy, honey baby. Oh. No, fuck that guy. He doesn't realize I accidentally acknowledged him. That guy brings the most nothing to the chat.
So, okay, I just want to end it on this. I feel like I've tried a couple of times.
End it, Lauren? I got Moose shit. I got other channel shit. It's like you don't want your future kids watching this crap, Lauren. You did your own research and you didn't get that underage kid. You don't have a clip of the underage kid on Paul Unslaved that they're treating him like he's not a kid with the proportions of a child in a child's bed with his phone, laughing at words that sound funny to him. They ask him if his parents are around. He talks about a disheveled family life, and they're so sad because he's in the UK and they can't do anything to help. And then when he gets busted on the age, his coverage, hey, he said he was 18, right? Say he was 18, right? Dude, do you ever sell cigarettes? Like, bro, do you even liquor store? Come on.
He says,
Truth Finder, it's cool, man. It's what do you say? I wasn't insulting you. I was doing someone else. Oh, okay. Truth Finder, you got to understand what I have assumed to what's coming. I'm kind of like, you came into a Mexican standoff room and I'm like, hey, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? Now I don't have enough guns to point around, you know? Sorry, it's cool, Truth. But dude, yeah. He signed. No, listen, you want to talk about policy and enforcement? Whenever he made a channel for both YouTube and fucking StreamYard, yeah, I don't know how to do this networking shit for myself, like growing food. So if you're going to agree with YouTube or StreamYard to put your stupid gorilla face around these interwebs, yeah, you got to click policy. You got to agree to something that's going to be enforced. And that's why all your talk about taking YouTube to court, it wasn't going to go nowhere. And you did sit the full 90 days, Paul. You didn't get it back early. You sat your 90 days because you did something. I don't know what it is. I just know that if every viewer would click a report for every video we all watch every day, if they don't find anything, they don't kick it, you know? Doesn't matter if you report it. If they don't find something, it doesn't get penalized for anything. But the catch to that on YouTube is in the future, when that enforcement changes its mind, the algorithm will look at all this past stuff and be like, oh, Tom doesn't get to jerk off to his own video anymore because he was saying all kinds of shit. That future algorithm probably gonna delete this real quick. Sorry, Lauren. Sorry, not sorry. As soon as we can all deep fake on a phone, it's over, bro. It's over.
What was it that you wanted to say about Moose? What was it that you wanted to say about Moose?
Lauren, I am if you can trigger memories. I don't know, like, it's what do you want to do? Because I like Moose, but I'm kind of here today to be like, look, everywhere I go, I keep getting followed by this dude's channel, and he keeps saying I'm saying stuff about him. It's like, well, you know what? You made these streets talk about you, and if they want to talk about you, which they do, because Paul can't even stay on his own channel, I can tell you other people you could have on here talk shit about me and Paul. But like, there's a lot of channels that they'd rather just give Paul his time than dare say no if he shows up. Welsh News Network, they're the only ones that get it because they're rational adults. You let Paul sit in the back and you just leave him there until he leaves. If you don't want him, if he shows up on your show, you fucking clicked. What can I tell you? You know, Ian, fucking anybody that's ever cried about Paul. You remember when I bumped into you at Ian's party? That shit was crazy, Lauren. You remember that night?
No.
Well, I don't, Lauren, Jesus, I had to wait through like a series of flat earthers and fucking, you know, all the different walks of these streets. I had to wait for each one before I got to talk to the only person that was there to console Ian about this gorilla and his gorilla cult.
Okay.
Can I have a Martin Shkreli, please? If we don't talk about Paul at all, can you get one-on-one where I just like verbally suck off Martin Shkreli on your show? Because I'm blocked by Matt Kors. Just tell him that Matt Kors blocked me, and he'll be like, I want to do a talk with this guy.
You want to virtually suck off Martin?
Not virtually. That's like some weird, you know, where things are going stuff. No, on your show, I want to verbally fillet Martin Shkreli for the like the way I take my name gets driven around on these nobodies. He had his name driven into the ground for not true shit, and I respect that because I believed it. And I said, yeah, I agree. That's a punchable fucking face. And then whenever he got out and gave his thing on Matt Kors, I was like, wow, maybe it wasn't Matt Kors. Somebody that did an interview with him, and he got to say his piece. I was like, I feel that, man. I feel that. He did some good shit. I'll say this for the world. When Martin Shkreli boosted the price of the AIDS drug to Africa, it was a good thing. And you better know what I'm saying before you come at me physically about that. You want to elaborate on that, Lauren?
Why don't you elaborate on that?
Because all those Africans were getting that drug through the insurance companies we all bitch about. And Martin Shkreli jacked that drug up on the insurance companies to use that money to find a better AIDS cure. And if he's got the money for the Wu-Tang album, isn't that his right? It's the Wu-Tang that made it fucking so ungrabbable.
So Paul Unslaved is here. Paul, would you like to come up and talk?
No. If you bring that, he's going to see this as power, Lauren. You bring that gorilla up to act like he wants to talk now after he's been invading my space for the past week, knowing, well, I don't even say the past week.
Well, let's just give him a chance.
Let him chat backstage questions, because I just don't want to hear his voice is what I'm saying. I'm tired of hearing that cabbie East Coast fucking yelling or whatever Tony wants to say. I'm fucking sick of it. Because after this, Lauren, when I say bye-bye to you, I'll pro bono any unrelated thing you heard me say that you want to go back to and elaborate on. We can talk about the drugs. We can talk about all kinds of things people don't know that I've been. We can talk about how we're going to lose our cashless society faster than you'll have me back to talk about it. I'll do the Shkreli thing. I'll talk about Jesus' work with mentally handicapped adults. But this, after today, no more Paul Unslaved for me, because I'm not the one that's sick of hearing me and Paul. Paul's chasing me. I'm not chasing Paul. I've had my Paul time. Moose has had his Paul time. I'm surprised the streets aren't as sick of him yet. As you need to get that clip from his Medic Warrior when he played the mob. His first impression as Medic Warrior was giving him the mob threats about having me on his show. Why you want to start a YouTube war having this Illumitommy on your show? Dude, it's a fucking MySpace with videos. Come on. Get out of here, kids.
What about Truth Finder UK with like a video with like an interview with you, correct?
Contact me after you jump off Lauren's. I want to interview with you next. I'll give you the verbal pat down and get back to you. Email in my description so I know it's you. Like, tell me something live right now, real quick. Send an email real quick. I have other ways to. If anyone doesn't have Snapchat, I know it's a kids thing, but if you ever want to verify an in-person face, Snapchat is so fucking choice for catching scammers and busting fucking fake people.
Is that what you do? Do you have a YouTube channel?
I don't have a channel. That's kind of the read between the lines layer to this is how much I hear my name as a participating viewer. Like, there's some of these channels hate on their panels, and some of them love on their panels. It's like, you need them one way or another. You need them. Even Paul will sit there and say, I could do this myself, but why the fuck isn't anybody coming up today? Hey, where is everybody? Why y'all holding off on me? Oh, well, thought you could do it yourself. Do it yourself, like that 8 Mile shit. That was the only quality advice his junkie mom gave him in that movie. Was he said, I'm going to do it myself. She said, I think that's best. I said, fuck yeah.
Okay, so last attempted with this. Just in one sentence, why are people accusing you in chat of attacking children?
Oh, man. And so shout out to some of my haters who actually looked into this. So that was Snack Foo Fats, if I can remember right. He coined the term.
Pause. Paul, are you afraid to come up? Because I've offered you the opportunity to come up. So would you like to come up? I would be more than happy.
No, here's the thing. Every time I was on his show, that whole time with the monkeys, this is why I'm here, Lauren, because he always denied your show. So if he comes up, he has to say that show he was always a bitch about when I was on his show, the one he'd never go on, the one I said, what were the rules to this show you'll never go on? He was worried about his daddy, El Perro. When El Perro came to talk to you about something, I thought it was a game, because who's stupid enough to sit on their show and say, oh, I think El Perro's taking a money deal with Lauren and be worried about it. I thought that was some Game of Thrones shit. I think he was actually worried El Perro came to talk to you for like 1 minute and then stayed on his show. I was like, yeah, I guess that was nothing, and it never went anywhere. But if he only wants to come up here because I'm here and his little tribe has spent the whole week saying, I'm going to come on here and we're going to have a double bash fest. No, this isn't about you, Paul. This is my show. That title, that's the viewer, the 1-digit viewer you used to get from me. No, this is my interview. And I don't want to talk to Paul Unslaved. I'll talk about a gay dude that tried to get me on meth. I don't want to talk to your gorilla ass because for 6 months, I was trying to talk to you. I was trying to talk to you, you traumatized child. I'm living everything you're rapping about, dude. And I'm making this lady see it in a rational way. When you bother to talk about this common law shit, Lauren, allow me to sound agreeable. And yes, you should have insurance, because I'd have one arm and still be homeless if some lesbian that I respect didn't have the state minimum coverage and do everything you're supposed to do as a proper fellow man that inflicts damage on another one. And she even broke the rule on the insurance card. She ran up to me as I'm in shock, throwing pieces of my bike off of the street a block away from the Batman shooting. She comes running up going, oh my God, that was my fault. That was my fault. God bless that lesbian woman and her offer to the cops to let me park my busted ass bike at her rental townhouse. And they said, no, it's got to go impounded because money. Paul, if you'd just shut up and stay out of here, I'd make half your point for you, dude. I could do your shit better than you with your taking memes from every religion you think you want to flow with. Fucking grifter bullshit. I grew up abused by that televangelist bullshit and had to wait through it till He-Man started. Had to go to 2 distant schools starting out behind because of that fucking religious bullshit, and it'll still be the best choice for any institutionalized heroin junkie like yourself that wears it like a badge while slandering me for getting rich on meth. Boom! Find me the Republican that'll shake a stick at that, Lauren, because my Republicans were from back in the day where if you didn't cause damage or theft, as long as you could be acceptable out on the street, you could do all this Breaking Bad shit.
Okay, we're going to do a question portion right now. So if you have any questions that you want me to directly ask, put a question mark first and I'll look for your question and then end with a question mark. As many question marks throughout your statement as possible, and I'll look for questions.
Is that how heavy the chat is today? God bless them. Because you're getting the views. They're not re-streaming you. You're getting those views. I agree.
Okay, I do want to allow somebody not to come up, but for
how about $5 a super chat for this segment?
So I'm gonna put the link in chat, and I'm not gonna allow anyone to come up on panel. But if you have any videos that you want me to play that you want to put in back chat, then feel free to come on up and put something in back chat. Or if you have any questions that you want me to see that, okay. So
I apologize, Lauren. I rolled past the women and children threatening.
Have you ever given a blowjob for meth? Yes or no?
Oh, God, you just asked me that yourself.
Okay.
I've never given a blowjob.
How does it feel to be high on meth?
Why does it say 7? Oh, that's the question. Like, this isn't 7 questions. Have you? I mean, if you've ever done Adderall or Ritalin, it's like, you know the difference between beer, wine, and liquor? It's like you still get drunk, but it's like, I could probably tell which one I'm on. That's the difference in all three. And as far as how it feels, I don't want to make a case for the validity or not validity of diagnosis, but there's people that get different effects from the same substance. Me personally, when I do it with sciencey moderation, if you've ever seen Mr. Robot, like the first episode of Mr. Robot, never even watched the series, but he describes how I do drugs, where you're paying attention to the amount you use for the effect it gives you, and then using that to like steer away from any dangers, whether it's overdosing or losing one's grip on reality, shit like that.
Where do
With
you
the
purchase
exception
your
of times you use like-minded individuals to safely exceed those doses and know that someone's got your back if something goes wrong. You got to have friends for
purchase
that.
your drugs? Where do you purchase your drugs? Where do you purchase your drugs?
Currently, I just get legal weed from any establishment in Colorado because that's all I do. Unless you want to talk about from sugar to heroin, it's all drugs. Because this is where that get your ass off my straw man shit goes. Well, also like these components that we call drugs, it's like McDonald's is drugs. You think that gives a pleasure for a detrimental effect. You take a whole bottle of fucking Tylenol, it's your last drugs, you know?
So
people are asking questions with their assumed context of these words we all have different layered meanings to. So I want to make sure we're talking about the right thing before I answer. That's why Elon Musk that shit. I'm like, it's quite difficult to actually.
Okay, I have several questions for you that seem more important. First of all, what did you do to gyro while working at a pizzeria next to the high school? And I have another question for you as well. And do you know Beth Myers? So those are the two questions. And then if you want to put anything in back chat right now, private chat, if you're behind the scenes and you want to put any links in back chat, feel free to do that. So what did you do to gyro while working at a pizzeria next to the high school?
Yeah, we're gonna skip that one, Lauren, because that one needs like a $20 donation, and I know I would require that person to show their current dental situation and that they live in far off place where they can't be seen by anyone, but they can still be heard. Lauren, we're gonna go the fifth on people that didn't join this fight till like a week ago. Those are newcoming summer people. And just like that license, I ain't got to answer a goddamn thing. I know they're fishing for gotcha shit, and they've been told the truth, Lauren. They know the truth from this mouth, so they're just worthless. they can stay where they are. And be careful, because I heard that's just close to where my retired waterfront property is.
Well,
Yes,
I'm
Lauren,
just a
ex-meth abuser. If you want to say abuse, I'll agree to abuse over addiction. Waterfront property along the Rockies. Whoever's seeing this afterwards just doesn't know what the fuck they're watching. This guy, waterfront property, not bragging. You could have too. If this meth user had done it, you could too.
So Snafu Snaps, I see you backstage. I do one-on-one interviews. You're more than welcome
okay. Do you remember your guy you did? Your guy with the dreads from Illinois. I call him Goblin. You posted him up by his real name.
Snafu Snaps. Don't get angry. Instead, just send me the link that you want me to play, and I'll play that link.
No, Lauren, see, he's wasting my time right now. Disregard that.
I just
you need to give that dude a one-on-one, Lauren. That's what the problem is. This should be Snafu Snaps.
Castro. Did you have sex with Chili de Castro?
Dude, I didn't know who Chili was until these flat earther guys are bitching about him. I might have seen him and not know who he was. Okay. Huh?
How much do you pay for meth? How much do you pay for methamphetamines? How much do you pay? How much does it cost?
They're also doing this game where they're trying to ask things. I'll talk in the current perspective. Like, they think if I say the tense, the present tense, and it's like, dude, I like getting BJs. It doesn't mean I'm sitting right now getting a BJ. But they're trying to get me to talk in present tense to go, meth use confirmed. That's fedora beard neck shit, Lauren. You know what those words mean in these streets?
Do you
Lauren,
do you prefer blue, pink, or clear meth? And what's the difference?
I think they might be talking about my story of I actually did have a dealer who he wasn't the chemist making it, but he was in a first name basis with his cook. And that's a safe thing, because that dealer is responsible enough to tell me that, make it true, and then you know your supply line if you have to investigate anything in that supply line. Freedom, personal responsibility, never harmed anyone or stole from anyone to do meth. But there was a time his guy sends him this batch, and he's like, you want the blue stuff or the red stuff? And this was a fail. I think there was, on Breaking Bad, they did the saga where it was blue. And I was like, your guy makes good stuff, but he is fucking retarded. And you need to see this. Because when you put blue and red meth on the street, if any of your guys get busted, now they have something to follow you back. They'll follow the red stuff back to the cook and Rico all that stuff on you. But this wasn't just bad that way. This came out like a cloudy, generic Halloween candy style. I mean, you knew it was the stuff.
Your neighbor for having a barking dog.
Are you interrupting previous questions that people should be paying fiat currency to ask because you're wasting both of our time by humoring them? Like, I agree with the free speech thing, but in this particular case, you need to trust me to tell you how many of these people are the cult you want to ask me about. Snafu is trying to climb the ranks of that shit. They don't respect him, but he thinks he's like a general at arms with the nothing people.
Is that true?
It's the God-spoken truth from my mouth. If I've lied about anything, it's not that statement I just made. That statement being Snafu thinks he's something. He's a whole lot of nothing. And that Paul has given him the time to communicate with other hairless monkeys on his platform is like just a scratch of why I was never going to keep watching that fool. He's a nobody. He's a grifter.
He could
be narrating this as he live streams it. He could just be speaking over us the whole time. That's his claim to fame if he's not invading the channel himself.
He's more than welcome to join me
with you at a further date, and if anyone wants to believe him, that's on their personal ass. Because I have no fear now in my community that I work. Anywhere I move, I start being community. Like, I know you have to know your neighbors. I know shit happens and you want to know neighbors. I community and help people everywhere I live. This dude is fucking destroying community online, and I'm not going to hear that he would do it different. He's like Trump. He's like, I'd totally be presidential. And he's trying to say if he had a cult, if he did have a cult or some kind of off-grid community, he'd totally be Christed, totally be Jesus. This isn't him, Dad. This YouTube, that's not the real Paul. Paul is so presidential. No, my cops in Denver, I ask them. When I'm out walking my dog and I do come across a cop or I come across cops at a table at lunch, I go up and ask them. I look them dead in the eyes and I say, does anybody know who Paul Enslaved is? And I watch their eyes for the answer. Because one time a cop, he gave me this flinchy glare and he said, I think I heard of him. And I was like, you know. I went, you know who he was. Like, don't worry, you don't hate me. I feel you, man. Like, I'll speak against some of your job duties, but I feel you on that common opposition thing. So, Snafu and Paul, I keep telling you, in Paul's case, you come to Denver and on your live stream, you can put me in the emergency room. I will put my hands behind my back, show the live stream how fucking crazy I am, how I'm my own Tyler Durden, all the way to the ER. I won't press charges, Paul, because you're delusional enough to think that any government agency would watch that happen and not prosecute you without me. Because I got video right here that I thought if Lauren really wanted to go somewhere, like on you, I got video of the first time a life that matters ever pulled a gun on me in Saudi Aurora. Also a straight shot from the Batman Theater. I pulled a camera out on this dude. He looks hood as shit because he pointed a gun at me for giving his dog water in the summertime while he was at work all day. And he knew that his dog was suffering on the porch all day. He got complaints about it. We said, your dog is howling like it's on its death throes. It's just a little brindle puppy. Maybe he was trying to make it aggressive, you think? Because that was a nice place I lived whenever I was in college. I mean, it was close to that theater, but it was a pretty nice place, despite this guy. But yeah, he pulled a fucking gun on me. As a bang owner, you don't pull that thing until it's time to pull the trigger, you know? That's why we work on our draw time, because you don't pull it till you're serious. And he pulled it because I was giving his dog water that he didn't want that dog getting water in a high desert summer, in a kennel, out on a balcony. I can play the video of that is what I'm saying, Lauren. This
why
shit.
Why don't we play the video?
You want to play it? You want to play it?
Yeah.
Play it. Play it. I'm tired of leaning into the Joker thing.
Why
right?
don't you send it to me and I'll play it? So put it in the back chat.
Well, I'll still send it to you, Lauren, but we're not gonna watch it right now with audio. You'll read the body language. The audio is really just me kicking out in the remnants of being a West Virginia kid. Like, you hear that twang come out because I'm offended at the audacity a man just put a gun in, and it was when I was fucking.
Hold on, let me pause you. Now, as I said like 1.5 million times.
Oh, we know Snafu. Nobody would let you on Snafu. I don't know why Lauren considered it. Maybe you didn't do enough homework, Lauren, because I saw you on clips when I'm doing my catch-up homework. You've been on Paul's show longer than me, as far as who got there first. And Snafu, if you've done any recent watching of lots of these channels in these streets, this motherfucker has no respect from anyone. He just laughs it off like he's being heard.
You know, I'm going to mute you just for a second so I can get my word in. So I don't let people up on panel when I'm interviewing somebody else. And also I am talking to somebody else. You are more than welcome to have your own stream at a later date in which you support Paul, because I care about the truth and I care about open free speech platform. I don't care about screaming at each other. You're more, yes, that's what an individual, when you're speaking to one person, that one person is going to be biased for themselves. You are more than welcome to come up and have your own video. You were only allowed to drop a link. If you had a link you could drop, you were welcome to drop that in back chat. Okay, you're unmuted. Okay, I have. Okay, hold on. Let me play something really quick.
Watch this height. Watch this height. Boom! Yeah! Oh, sorry, Lauren. That's my current dog. That was his like face biting ability. My bad. Let me get that Life That Matters video pulled right up. I just wanted to immortalize that on your little Oprah show. So now, when God says I'm not as favored as I think because he doesn't outlive me, because that dog doesn't.
This is your friendly, local, neighborhood, global, worldwide, world famous Star Spangled Banner Moose here, and I've got a clip right here. We're gonna start this out with some hot,
This is 3 hours long.
stuff.
Dear Jesus, dear person who sent it to me, I'm not going to play this until you give me a timestamp. Okay? Give me a timestamp. I'm not playing a 3-hour-long video during this interview. Come back with a timestamp, and then I'll play it. Okay.
Snafu Snaps? Is that the video
What?
from Snafu Snaps? Or this video you just said I'm not playing that 3 hours? Is that the thing from Snafu Snaps?
This one?
Is that the link for that video? Because I thought I heard Moose like all up in here. I was gonna be like, "Hey, Moose, how'd you get in here?" Is this the one that Snafu claims I threatened women and children?
Probably. Can you tell me the timestamp in which that happened?
Oh, I know what this one is, Lauren. I already explained this here and had Yurt back me up, but this isn't anything legal or anything I'm worried about. This is the toxic shit this is what I said needs $20 to get asked. And if you play that without receiving like $100 for something, it's like something we explained in the moment that I'm not ashamed of. And I don't want to attach it to accidentally justify a pimp bully that has offended veterans, offended people like you, me. I think he's a grifter bully. I don't want to give this ammo because even the truth pisses people off, and it's nothing illegal. It's something that is only defined by 3 months and words on a paper between a 17-year-old girl and an 18-year-old girl and a me that was 15 years younger than this. I don't want to touch it, Lauren. I think I've said what it is enough. I don't want to listen to me and those people I've been trolling go through the grift I'm sitting here talking about. And if one motherfucker could find an adult, honor, able way to come up here and get me shook, I'd just say I was wrong. But this is all gotcha bullshit. Like, yes, there were times in my life I drove fast cars, did drugs, was in a good job, walked the line in various regulations that these haters oppose. Like, if you take away these regulations, that shit talk they're trying to do, it ain't shit. And if you keep the regulations, I was still legal. Because, spoiler alert, some of your daughters are out getting, like, gorilla grinded by dudes right now. And they're putting it on the hub. They're putting it on OnlyFans. So, I'll take my licks from the Sky Daddy. That's why I'm okay to say it. Like, no one's going to keep me out of a job anymore. And anyone that comes to find me on the street, that's what I worry about anyway, even with motherfuckers that don't know me. I'm 1 degree bacon from multiple Colorado mass bangbangs I'm very close to. Let's talk about Johnny Hurley, my hero.
Do you have a job?
I don't need a job, Lauren. Do you know why I want to do a one-on-one with Martin Shkreli? You're playing into these people that you wanted me to bust, Lauren. Come on, let's step the game up. I gave you newscaster back screen, you know. I know it's hard. Henry was blocked across the room.
How do you think Martin Shkreli is going to help you? How do you think Martin Shkreli is going to help you with anything?
He's not. I don't need help from anything. I want to give the man props for how he handled Matt Kors. If we could get him right now, I would want to get his take on what I've been going all these channels saying, hey, I think this is the one thing that you law abiders and law deniers should both be worried about. And they still call my shit for it. Like, Paul gave me the nickname Catcoin because I showed up after a 3-month hiatus and said, hey, Paul, I think I found where this Mark of the Beast strategy is going to start. Like our whole worldwide monetary system is about to convert to a tokenized blockchain.
Martin says he's busy right now, so he can't talk to you.
Awesome. You have that. Oh, I know. Because of X. I don't have X's that can hit me up that fast. That was impressive. I just thought if he wanted someone to actually put a good light on him to his face online, let's do it. But I would like his speculation of the CBDCs, all that shit. Because whether you like him or hate him, he's out there getting paid, making his investors money. And he did his time. He's good. Respect.
Yeah.
Hey, Martin, let me get that Woo album, yo.
Anyway, so you want the chat to pay a minimum of $100 to see this video that is publicly available still?
That's what I'm saying. Anybody can watch it, but as far as bringing it to me right now, when I'd rather relate like fucking meth to things you give your kids, or talk about how we're about to crash our monetary system to cover up the way we've all been fucked for decades. Like, dude, he's nothing, Lauren. Get over it. I know he brought you on a couple times. He said his mean words. Like, that's what me and Paul have in common, is we want you to take your mean words. Because, see, listen, I will support African Americans. Like, if you find anything more than mean words, if you can prove racism has kept you out of a job, has kept you from living longer in your deal with cops, if you can prove any kind of theft or damages are done from a racial reason, I will back you and support you. But anybody with something about mean words, like, dude, everybody is mean wording everywhere, on the street, on the line. Paul mean words. I mean words. It's not the issue right now.
To thank Paul Unslaved for waitress school so that I could get an actual job. I really appreciate that. Waitress school has been very expensive, so I'm very excited that I'm finally able to put down my down payment with that.
A man that can support his enemy is either love or art of war shit, you know? And that's my thing. A lot of the time, whenever he was, like, there was times I think he knew I was just clowning, but then there was times I don't know what it was he was triggered about. But I was always like, dude, no matter what he says, if there's something we agree on, I won't not agree. And my problem is I see him changing up according to what's best to go against me. Because I've even went up there and said,
I was just saying hi to my friend V.
oh, God, I'm so used to being like, hey, Tom, shut up, shut up. I forgot. That's me in the headline this time. I can just roll with it. Wait till you see this life that matters. It's fucking hilarious. It's a laugh riot. Shout out to Sigma. But fucking, I went on Paul's show to be like, listen, Jack Talcott, I don't think Paul will disagree with me, when it's like, dude, we can have you all squared up. You can know what you're going to do about your house. And overnight, somebody hits you with the Men in Black thing. And the next day, we start all over. And Paul's like, yeah, I see that. And this fucking dude's like, nah, I see what you and Paul are up to. I'm like, no, dude, we're just two opposing guys that agree on this. And it's not a conspiracy. We're not up to anything. So in the same way with Paul, I feel like there's a lot of things he's gone against me on where it's like, dude, this is responsibility. This is honor able. And because he don't want to talk, he doesn't want to have a civil discussion. I'm sitting here on your tea sipping show. I told Henry this was going to be the tea. You act like you don't want the tea.
The tea. I want the tea. I want the tea. But would you,
hey,
before?
That's where you need these, Lauren, because you're restraining the tea. You're pushing shit that I've heard for months. Like, yeah, tell me again, say it again, and now you want to give that to chat to ask me without money? I know what they're gonna say, Lauren. Fuck the chat, man. Let's see what you want.
But would you ever
questions that pique your interest, Lauren? I'll come back as many times as it takes because I got shit to do. I don't slave to a paycheck.
If you'd ever smoked meth while streaming.
I did drop the ball one time because that reminded me when you asked about if I have a job. I highly speculate that Paul may be doing DoorDash, and that requires license plates, registration, insurance. And if he would agree that that's why he got them, I would say yes, that's what we say it is. Because you are driving for business, you must have that. But my problem is I've been on his show, like, in that logic, his boy Lubash should have in Canada, he should have all the proper registrations to rent his houses to people. And he claims not to. And he claims to evade taxes. And I'm like, well, Paul, would you not back me up on suggesting he do get those titles and registrations to take money for a service and be taxable? This is the shit that you're constantly battling Goblin and Paul on. It, like, let me have that fight. And they want to talk about things I've done in the past that I'll admit to and not give them nothing more because they ain't shit. That's what they're going to. When I quit being in these YouTube streets, that chat will still be the same people, Lauren. Come on. You went to college, Lauren. You went in the military. I didn't even stay in the military because of my bullshit family. And they don't get up my ass about that because they don't care. They want to call the military murderers. They want to tell Jack Talcott that he's taking welfare because he got hurt in the military and gets a check for it. No, God bless Jack Talcott for getting hurt in the military and getting paid for it. Because my friend that died in the desert, he's 60 miles away getting $40K a year for the shit he lived through. And the friend half of him is dead. I had to come to terms with that. So did his German Shepherd.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss. That is very.
Don't be sorry, because everything that happens in this world is good, Lauren. That's another way I love to troll people. Like, you're against Paul, Paul's against you, and I'll troll you both all day with the truth that everything that happens is good. That's the one they can test me on.
Okay. So I do want to wrap this up soon. Is there any?
Me too. It could have been better.
We've been going for 2 hours now.
I know, and look how much I've been trudging through mud of the people I was gonna tee with you. I mean, you can, if you ever have a related thing that you need some backstage questions, I'll respect the one-on-one the same way I want it. You ever need questions against these people? Come here. But if you want to get serious about this paper identifications, Lauren, I'm cool with my local police, and I'm not a card-carrying member of the club that says I can put my shirt over my property. There's no hairless monkey that's going to tell me I got to let a government know that I put my shirt over my property. Let that butterfly effect to me. Let's see if I get Johnny Hurley'd over some cop finding that out. Because I ain't out here bashing Paul to the cops. I just look in their eyes when I ask if they've heard of him. I've never tried to end Paul's show. I've never put strikes on Paul's show because I want to be able to reference the goddamn videos when I'm on my deathbed in some off-grid fucking land one day, running from you and your slave digital currency.
Okay. So I'm never coming on. I'd rather watch you give me your power and attention while you destroy yourselves. Well,
no, Paul, she's the one with the power, you buffoon. This is why I've always called you on your shit. You tell your cult that you want called on your shit because they do it like, oh, Paulie, you're too nice. You're too good to us, Paulie. That's what your problem is. You're Tom Cruising, Paul. Like you're the least famous Tom Cruise to ever have an entourage to not tell you no. That's what your fucking problem is. That's why you accidentally culted. There, does that help it along, Lauren? Is that what we were looking for?
Lauren allows this criminal who threatened children and drugged.
I have no record. I have no record. All the jobs, the last time I had a job required FBI backgrounds. When I was working at DIA as a manager for a whole company in DIA, you had to do an FBI background. And that was the first time I tried Ritalin, is because my roommate's girlfriend was prescription. She goes, try the most minute pill form they'll subscribe. And it had that family of the Breaking Bad. And I was like A1 salesman. I mean, since I was managing, I was just salesman to give people their breaks. But every break, I was still busting out sales. And even when a passerby just wanted to talk about his family, he's like, I'm sorry it took up so much of your time. I'm like, no, my pleasure. My pleasure, sir.
Really quick.
Ridley.
So once again, for like the umpteenth time, you clearly have never seen my interview channel before. I only do one-on-one interviews. I don't know if you could count beyond one snafu, but if you could, you'd understand that one-on-one does not include another. So you're more than welcome to in the back chat, though, which is why I dropped the link. You were more than welcome to put a link in the back chat. Now, anyway,
is the weakest link to our society.
If anyone wants to give me a timestamp to check out on this 3-hour video, that's great. But if not, okay, 46, 47. There we go. Okay.
Okay, let's still play the thing that I explained and listen, Lauren, when I talk about living with monkeys, this is the monkey act going on, and they're trying to attach it to. You're getting real guy. You get to the bottom of all this shit. This isn't about proving a crime. It's about making me be taken seriously.
Let me just watch
all right.
Because that's the maximum time of what do you call it? What do you call it, Tommy?
When I was 30, I had a 17 hoe that was legal in Colorado because I was the general manager of the Domino's Pizza between a high school and that high school's gym, and all those fucking thoughts would roll through because I had a fucking.
You basically had sex with a minor then.
No, she's not. She wasn't a minor in Colorado.
Well, no, I mean in the land of America, 18 is adulthood.
Yeah, and in 50 United States, we had legal weed and 17 flies, and that chick was no fucking virgin at 17. That chick was predatorily coming across my counter every lunchtime, among others.
So you thought that a sick woman that would come at you and push herself upon you, a sick child,
maybe some of the things she did was sick. Maybe in fucking
to the doors sexually.
World of Warcraft elf
an older
cosplay,
man
she
of
did
30
some sick
something.
thing.
Help me out here, Yurt.
Well, I mean, you know, dude, it's
it's a fine line, right?
Well, and
I
let's
did not
paint
rob
narrative
anyone's
here. I mean,
innocence.
17 isn't a child.
Oh
Hey,
man, I thought you dropped me. Everything's buffering on my phone.
I thought I dropped myself for a second there.
Yeah, I got the same thing. I thought you were so offended you cut the show off because you actually believed that shit, or that these people. Huh?
You want to explain it a little bit better?
Yeah. I want to explain that even this lady who has one tooth, even that lady read out loud that there's parental consent. And I'm sitting here telling you America's fucked up like that, but it's not fucked up because this girl was not in high school or underage, technically. Let's just say I was the lesser, I don't know what I want to call it because it's like a legal term. Like I wasn't up to shit as much as it was what she was gonna do in 3 months anyway, had already been doing, and this was 15 years ago. And it's like, and her parents know she's drinking in front of them. She's already living an adult life, you know? It's like she doesn't have the cares of what this lady thinks of when she thinks of a daughter in high school. Like, I was even one of those people that didn't live with my parents while I was still a senior in high school. And I mean, yeah, I told you, like,
how old is she?
She was, when I met her, she was 3 months from being 18, and she was definitely still 17 for things. But I was not a man
And
yet.
how do you know that she was about to turn 18?
Because these people want to talk like it was me as a predatory guy going after specifically high school girls.
How did you know she was about to turn? How do you know her age?
See, this is what I'm trying to answer, and you've already gone against my request to not. I like explain this and didn't want to have to waste the time doing it, but let's have it out.
Okay.
I hung out with her like you would date a fucking girl. Like, I didn't just, oh, hey, you're a high school girl in my Domino's. Let's go in the back bathroom. No, I went through the process that I go through with any other women in my life that's ever been of age, as that one was technically the sketchiest while still legal. But that's what I'm saying, Lauren. These motherfuckers are just here for this. And I've only been doing 6 seasons of Lost where I give them information in ways that sounds bad. And then when you hear the whole story, it's like, oh, you made us go all the way around the block for this. Like, yes, it was all a game as I lived with monkeys for 6 months. I mean, I'll put this shit on and talk a big game. On paper, I'm an upstanding citizen. Morally, I'll stand before any guy.
Yeah, I hear you. The only thing that I have a problem with, because I did look it up, it looks like the state of Colorado does have the legal age of consent at 17. However, you said several things that kind of freak me out. Like, for instance, she wasn't a virgin already. Like, that doesn't make, even if someone's not a virgin, they could still be underage and can still be illegal to have sex with them.
No, that's not mainly. I was saying for the effect of what I think, Lauren, is to predatorily look for virgins that are underage, or to be looking for pre-puberty, which this was not. I think that's what pedo is. And this statutory shit, it's like, dude, she was the one that got, like, her alcohol. Like, I don't even drink. She was the one drinking by the alcohol her parents gave her, you know? It's like, what?
Why does that matter? That wouldn't that make her an easier target for a predator?
No. Even with adult women, I don't predatory look for drunk women. You must make the sober decision to have sex with me before I'll let you get all fucking drunk and fuck, you know? But no, what I'm telling you is what I see as the damages is like a gay man that has a thing for knowing it was a straight guy he fucked around with, you know? I think the damages is looking for a stupid kid that doesn't know any better. Like, this girl was well into puberty, so we have stars today that it's like, Jesus Christ, how old is Britney Spears? Back when Britney Spears was the new thing? Jesus Christ, how old is this girl? Because she doesn't look young. I mean, if you want to turn this shit into a gotcha show about trying to call me out for, like, one thing I did when even I was technically 29, but I'm still going to say 30 because it sounds worse to that toothless lady out in off-grid land.
Okay.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's make it about me fucking little girls. Let's go down this road.
Well, like, you could agree that just because a girl is acting mature for her age or drinking or doing adult
Did you just say it was, like, legal?
No, I said you could.
Did you say the
didn't-
statutory limit was 17? Because back then it was 16, I think. But did you just say it's currently 17?
In
Did
Colorado,
you say it's currently 17, Lauren?
in Colorado,
Okay, so Lauren, based on you wanting to be a future lawyer,
you have to let people finish their sentences. We are having a conversation. You have yet to let me respond to your question. You are now off mute. Go on. In Colorado,
you're just wasting your breath because it's like, yes, in Colorado, it's 17 and up. At this age, I wouldn't be working or even considering that. That was back when I was sports car bouncer guy who was swimming in it. And it's no wonder that the rebel girl who had more hookups than I ever did, as in substances, not hookups like the kids say. Of course she came after me and I removed it from the Domino's situation in the high school that she wasn't showing up at very often anyway. She was not. That's what society doesn't get. Like, if that girl is dead in a drive-by, she wasn't a child. I'd say that's horrible if those kids die in drive-bys, but they were playing that game, Lauren. Some of them were playing that game when they were in the drive-by, and sometimes it's a 9-year-old girl that wasn't playing that game. That's the community I'm trying to avoid when I move anywhere. What I'm saying is, for a person that tells me out the gate she wants to be a lawyer, I don't care how you feel, Lauren, how much longer you got to harp on this legal activity. You don't have the luxury of your own moral outlook once you're a lawyer. You cite them cases and you cite that black and white, and that's what we go by.
So you think
let God sort out the part you're worried about.
So you think lawyers lose their sense of morality because they have to turn to statutes as opposed to the Bible?
I think you would see real blind justice if the job of two lawyers was to find the truth instead of compete with each other to say what the truth is. I think there can be a more logical. I think America has a better than you'd think rate as far as not killing the wrong guy, even though we do as far as the chair. But I don't think we have a good justice system. Hey, Laura, remember when you were questioning me on the driving shit? How about my own story? How about I went to court over me driving a work van that some Karen with her own photo service can't get past me on the turning lanes in a rainstorm, and she brushes me. We pull over to exchange insurance. No, she's got to call a cop. She's been screwed before. Got to call a cop over this buff out situation. So it turns into a court thing.
Actually, hold on. Just wanted to say, actually, the topic of you got so boring that we kind of switched. You were supposed to be the topic, but you were boring. Continue.
What topic?
Oh, no one. Go ahead.
No, you're saying the topic of cults?
Yeah, we were talking about that, and now we're talking about you and your drug stuff and your.
No, we're talking about a driving or a beating you thing. This is what I'm saying. I went to the DA that she's trying to pin fault on me, pin all this traffic shit on me. And I just sat in her office like, is this going to be maritime court? And she, with her Lauren demeanor, she goes, because she knew she was on the back heel at that point. I proceed to grill her in my way that I won't share as a class online because I don't care if these plebs figure it out or not. $0, 0-point ticket so that she got to feel like she still won. Out the door. My boss was actually one of my teachers from college. I said, hey, I quit because of how you acted when I told you I had this under control, and your insurance isn't going to put you at fault. Like 0.0 cost to me. You're clear on your insurance. Fuck you, favorite teacher. I quit your job. There's your common law shit. And that comment that you just shared, that's the guy that was raging on you, Lauren. You know that. That dude just bitched you out every time he's on your show, and you want to throw him at me like that? Come on. You gonna make me take back that Oprah shit.
Who? No, I'm better than Oprah. That's still
You got a lot of this, Lauren, but you got no these. It makes a big deal no matter what the leftists tell you. It's a testosterone, estrogen.
I don't have boobies. It's not very nice. I think my boobies are fine. Thank you very much, though.
Listen, Jack Talcott told me it was going to be a good day, and I said, I believe you, Jack. I believe you.
I like Jack a lot. Jack is one of my favorite people that I've ever interviewed.
Before Jack is on the street, I mean, I think Jack's got something going on. It's been 5 years he's saying he's going to lose his house. But even if he's a grifter, just because of what I've seen in Jack on these streets, before he'll be on the Seattle streets with the homeless kids with the hatchets, he'll be in this empty room for at least long enough to see if he'll flip burgers or not. But I mean, I won't let him be on those Seattle streets because I see this. I see this in Jack Talcott. Doesn't matter. He's a little slow on that because I know he means well, and I don't like the way Paul's treated him for a while. I don't like that every person on YouTube with a Jack face is because of the guy that said no masks. Like Paul, the no mask guy, created all these Jack-faced characters.
Okay.
You need to do your homework a little better, Lauren. I'm just tossing the shit you should have brought on him yourself.
Okay, I'll do my homework a little bit better next time. That's my bad. I didn't know all of this stuff. But I mean, to be fair,
how do you not remember me from Ian's whenever Ian was about to introduce someone and you jinx samesies him? You went, Illumitommy. And he was like, nope, dropped another name on you because he was going to put all the Discworlders first, all the Mandela Effect people. I can read into Mandela Effect. I can look at that. Definitely a globe, Lauren. Definitely a globe. But if you knew me from that, you're pulling in a yurt with books right now. Shout out to In a Yurt with Books. You're acting like you don't know about shit, I think.
I feel like maybe you have a bit of a stronger impression of how much I think about Paul Enslaved and his channel and the characters on it. So
it was the basis for your producer returning the emails. The email's like, hey, you want the tea on some Unslaved bullshit? Have me on.
Yeah. That's what my producer does. He's the best.
So how do you not know? I've seen you. I saw you when we ran into each other at Ian's party. Whenever he pissed Jack Talcott off and Jack left the party, I was like, "You go, Jack. I'll catch up, man." Yeah, man. You knew while we were there that was Ian's attempt to congregate the community, and I was just there as an advisor. Like, listen, I've lived among that guy that's giving you shit. I know how he works. And Ian was still scared. Remember when he separated? Like, hey, he's in his square. I'm in my square. I'm like, yeah, we know, Ian. We know. Just let me talk. You know?
Yeah.
Lauren, invincible to YouTube bullshit. I admit it doesn't sound classy to bring up the 15 years ago shit. I think that was even before Paul had tried his first needle that he will admit to. Like, if we want to drop the T, I got no channel to lose, man. And you guys will only lose your channels consecutively as algorithm changes to look in the past and calibrate. It'll just be MSNBC channels, Fox channels. They want to be the next TV.
TV.
Television. What television used to be, YouTube is like, we want to be that on the internet. It used to be a thing where anybody could come up. Back in the PewDiePie days, you could be a nobody and come up. You still kind of can, but you're going to jump through hoops. You're going
to. Are you mentally slow? Yes. No one is allowed up. It is one-on-one. Welcome to the Lauren De Laguna show where we do one-on-one. No one is allowed up. Very smart of you to finally figure that out. It only took you 2 hours and 20 minutes. Alrighty.
Do we have Henry back, or are you sharing those on the stream?
Sorry, no. So Snafu is upset because he was backstage. He told us that he had a video of you abusing women and children. I said that if he had that video, if that video existed, he could put that video in the chat backstage. He was backstage.
Look how bored I look.
Hold on, I am talking. He was there. He was smoking a cigarette. He was being menacing and creepy as hell. You are more than welcome to have a private interview of your own like I said, I will schedule it for next week if you want, sir. But holy crap, you cannot come up on stage because that's how my show works. And that's how it's worked since the beginning. You've clearly never been here before. Oh my God. Idiots, 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 idiots. I hate dumb people. They just irk me. Oh. Okay. Woo, sorry. Dumb people really just upset
This
me.
isn't how you make it in a man's world, Lauren. Like this
Okay.
is the hurdle which you must overcome to Oprah, because
Dumb people.
no, a dude would just, after we got that whole snafus and nobody thing clear, you would have just quit acknowledging his shit, you know? Like, I would tune in to the one-on-one with you and him like that. Because if the closest thing, like the high school girl, that's closer to anything than this threatening women and children. I don't even smoke cigarettes. And the people that do hate me, that did check the timestamp he wants to show you, it was me saying, like, I was swinging my dick about the concealed carry, wearing armor and shit. And I said, hey, if your kids are ever lost in Denver, you're going to want me to be the first stranger to find them. Because a current meth user right outside where my dog shits, he came up, wanted me to F him in the A, and he wasn't taking no for an answer till I got fucking specific about getting the fuck up the street, you know? And that thing stayed tucked, never needed it. It's nice to know it's there. I don't swing my dick about it. But the first time in a long time I thought I might need it was a dude that said, hey, I'm kind of high on meth and I'm the devil, not ripping off Will Ferrell. He said this shit. Clean cut kid with a nice haircut, flannel, fucking, but he was Mexican. Love the Mexican community. At least they work hard. He said, I'm high on meth and I'm kind of the devil. And maybe we could just go back there. You could F me in the A. And I said, no, dude, no, like move on. Like, I understand what you're on, dude. Like, but head on up the street. And it took some convincing. This is fucking, I don't know what you're hiding from, Lauren. You want to call me out on fucking near miss on the
here. I genuinely wanted, I don't know how we got here. I genuinely wanted to talk about,
because you let Snafu fucking get acknowledged. Is Henry doing his job? Because if you're clicking that shit up, I don't want to hear it. I know how to use StreamYard, Lauren. Come on.
you.
I know all you got to do to bring up the, yes, Lauren. I mean, if I was going to make a channel, it would be a decent one compared to these streets. For a time, I looked into how it's used. Still not about it. Don't need a job, man. Don't care. I do what I want to get done. I don't have to publicize it. That's why I won't tell people how to win in court. Figure it out, club. I'll do me.
Rada still here, but he really wanted us to end this stream by singing a farewell song. So, do you know any songs that you like? What's your favorite song?
Who the fuck asked to sing a farewell song?
What? Rada.
Are you talking about me singing a song?
Yeah.
Lauren, what the fuck are you doing?
Do you want to? Well, we need to end the stream at some point now.
We can end it, but I've watched. Hey, you think I watched Paul's stream and I've never watched yours? Like, you don't end streams with somebody singing a song. What are you talking about?
Wow. Why can't you end a stream with? Well, the other day I ended Rada's stream by singing "Holla Back Girl."
Say it again.
The other day I ended Rada's stream by singing "Holla Back Girl." You know, like a few times been around that track, so it's not just gonna happen like that because it ain't no, you know that song.
You know, with a degree in science, I will admit that all music preference is only an opinion. Like, someone can enjoy the sound of glass being smashed in a trash can, but compared to her No Doubt days, don't you ever sing that song in my presence. Like, she used to be the front for a band, a good band. And that was her playing her little corporate pop game, marrying Gavin from Bush. And then I'm going to marry a country singer. Sorry, Gwen, you lost it. You hit the wall, girl.
If I could escape and recreate a place that's my own world.
Okay, you know Pharrell's Happy song?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
Pharrell's
happy.
full of shit. Because no, shut up. When I had Pharrell, when I was a vinyl DJ and had Pharrell on vinyl, it was that you can, oh baby, you want me because you can get this lap dance here for free. Why don't you sing that on the out, Lauren? Sing some pop and hood shit. Bow, bow,
You want to hear
bow,
Quinn's
bow,
shit?
bow, bow. See, I'll even do the shit. You
Okay.
gotta say it like you know who gets more views live than anyone I've been on the panel of, including you, is a panel full of hood bitches. A panel full of hood bitches just talking about drama. I go, bitch, ho. Shit, I tell you, get your drama off my panel, bitch, ho. I gotta backstage you, bitch, ho. That gets 500 views minimum a day, Lauren. Goodbye, country. Goodbye, economy. Nobody gives a shit, man. Nobody's actually doing the shit this is founded on anymore. And I don't know, man. I don't know what's gonna happen. That's the reason I deal with all these Discworlders and shit, because they might actually hear me out and they don't even want to hear me out. And the only people that agree with me are like fucking Charles Schwab fucking employees that I talk to about my account, and fucking rich people in gated communities that I don't live in, that I cross in businesses, and say, hey, you know this thing's coming. It's all the crashing this plane, right? Huh?
What's your degree in? What is your degree in?
Applied science with a major in renewable energies. Oh, but yeah, it's build 1,000 bridges, but smoke one pipe, and you'll always be a pipe smoker.
What's applied science? Like applied physics or applied chemistry?
It is enough science in so many branches that I can look like a pretentious asshole to anyone in those branches if I have a little time to prepare and refresh. But it's like a lot of science, like your geologies. You're definitely like full on electric. The science of how electric works, which helps out with the globe argument. Like the north-south poles of the globe we're on, it's doing the plus-minus battery thing to the Earth. You don't want to get into it. You're closing out. Applied science, Lauren. I have applied science with a major in renewable energies. I can design and install solar systems of any size. And now that it's had time to advance, probably with more efficient, less parts, I know things where I could get a job with the turbines everyone loves or hates, but that's about over because now most of them are going to be in the ocean. Different things, you know. It's very volatile industry right now, what with the green movements and such. But funny thing about that college I said I went to, Obama gave me the money to go to that, or the loan to go to that college, and Obama also shut that college down. I finished first, but he shut that college down, among others.
That's not good for your credentials.
Yeah, it's fine because I still have Virginia College in Alabama, but this particular branch was made its name for having like $2 million worth of green equipment donated for like hands-on. Like if you were going to do wind turbines, we had all the wind turbine shit. If you were going to do solar, we had like fake roofs. You did solar and glass and shit after you knew how to design it. It was a good school. It was a legit school. It's why I school so many of these plebs on, you know, like fallacies and shit. But they don't listen. You can't save the world.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I really appreciate your time.
Fuck you, Scott. Hey, fuck you, Scott, with your Whirlpool bullshit until you get on Oprah's chat. Hey, and did you share that, Lauren, or did Henry? Come on, we're talking about truth. We're talking about truthers here. Did you share that?
Share what?
Every comment that flashed up at the bottom.
Oh, I clicked the last one.
Oh, just the last one?
I clicked a lot of them throughout. Henry clicked a lot of them throughout.
How about in honor of a 17-year-old girl, you tell me 17 comments that you put up on the screen, Lauren?
In honor of the 17.
I bet you they were 17 bad ones. Huh?
In honor of the 17-year-old girl that you fucked, you want me to tell you?
No,
17?
in honor of the 17 that everybody was so hung up on that was almost 17 years ago. In honor of that, like deep, whatever it is that's got you triggered for it and got that toothless lady in Southern Colorado triggered for it. I better clean this up because she'll be directly west from my retirement waterfront property where I might make a place for animal rescue and kids that have been touched by assholes. I'm glad everybody's taking time to bring that because they know that. If they're talking about the pizza bitch, there are people that know about my place for kids who were touched by assholes, animal rescue. Shout to Bear Independent who doesn't judge me for shit I did 15 years ago.
So, okay. So you have places for kids who got touched by assholes.
Man, you got that workable stupidity, don't you? That's an estrogen thing. Like, I didn't stutter, Lauren. I'm working on my off-grid property / place I'll hide from any whatever this shit show could come to. And I might not even make it down there. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm in a city that's primed for a mushroom cloud a priority, like on the priority list of where foreign mushroom clouds come from. I'm on one of them, man. I got DIA this way and NORAD that way. It's like, man, I don't even know if I'll ever make it.
Do you think I'm
Huh?
dumb? Do you think I'm
No,
stupid?
I think you have the potential to be one of those Oprah pushers, but you're playing in to this nobody's, like, you still have to keep doing what you can do well and push it on YouTube, and you're wasting time with nobodies. I am a YouTube viewer, and I was like, I'll come on here and talk some shit for you and do the voluntary low road. And you're letting them, you're seeing an opportunity like, hey, let's stick it to this guy. Because you know what else Jack Talcott texted me? He said, Thomas, because you're my friend, man, I got to warn you, Lauren's going to try and make you look like a cult member. And I said, Jack, baby, you got to understand the context of it. Like, she might fuck with me, Jack. She ain't going to make me look like a cult member. And then even Moose was like, you know, Moose, did you know that Moose didn't show up for your show? Because that was his show I was on talking about the 17-year-old girl, Lauren. You just shared Moose's show. He was too scared to come on this show like his daddy Paul. Do you know that?
Well, Paul,
I think I should pro bono do a little back research on the side. Maybe for pay just out of principle. But I don't need a job, Lauren. You could really help me on this, putting it to people that have actually been assholes. I see the problem now. We lost Henry. And he was the total testosterone balance that would have kept you from this petty bullshit.
Been back for a minute now, so but also Radio Guru
Henry
has been allowed up for a long time, but he's too chicken shit because he's a big coward.
See, here's what you're doing, the estrogen thing. This guy, this Radio Guru, yeah, he heard all the shit you said to Snafu, and because you got no these, you'll just repeat it. You won't slap him on the wrist. You won't send it. Even Paul muted my chat, Lauren. Come on. You won't do shit. You're just going to play in hours. Are you trying to get on their 12-hour game? Because this is how they pull off the 12-hour streams. It's just redundant, petty, nothing. Surprised Brian O'Shea didn't show up, talk about hitting another man's girl. And I mean, swingers will be swingers. Don't come talking shit about them if they let you into their shit. That's not classy at all to come on YouTube and say, hey, those swingers that occasionally like to have a little company that even this guy's been offered by trusted couples in the past, neglect, like respectfully decline because cis straight, but no hate, you know, working at Club Q, no hate, cis straight, lesbians get the best coke, gay men get the best methamphetamines, no hate, but it's like, dude, he heard what you said. Boot him. It's your show, Lauren. Your show. That's why I'm here, because I knew you would let me say my piece, and that piece was even like, hey, skip all that 17-year-old girl shit. Like, I've already explained it, and you wanted to take your Oprah time with a wealth of things that are coming from America, or why maybe even you should stop putting your plates on your car unless you're door dashing. That's why I wanted to ask you from your, the Kenny Rogers guy you just had recently. Oh man, I was sucking him off in chat. When you told him he could drink whatever he wants on your show, like, so what's your limit on what someone can drink on your show and why?
They could do heroin on my show for all I care. I literally don't give a shit. You can do whatever you want on my show. I'd love to see you smoke meth on my show. I think that'd be great.
That's what you fucking mind reader, Lauren. I've gone around these streets telling the motherfuckers I'm playing them, and if I was gonna do meth, which I will, there's an occasional every 2 or 3 year, I forget what, I wrote it down somewhere. There's a 2 or 3 year holiday I've marked where I do meth on that holiday to acknowledge I just did it then and still didn't go back to it. It's like the Randy Marsh effect. You remember South Park when Randy was in AA? It's like you got to be able to drink without going all ham back into alcohol. You can't let it own you by fucking staying away. I've got to Adderall once every, maybe it's not even meth. Maybe I find somebody with Adderall or Ritalin, and I just take a little to acknowledge, same show, don't care. It's you people that have put that weight on everyone saying, oh yeah, he's got to have a problem if he did it. There's only addicted and never tried it. Bullshit. That's churchy bullshit.
Yeah.
Lauren,
so
you let that, but what I'm saying is if I ever have to do it online, I'm going to give it to your show because you've been a good sport. And I was already going to offer you that in honor of women and women who get R-worded the way a guy tried to do me because they weren't wearing enough holsters. See, it's not about how you're dressed. It's do you have a piece in your fucking Daisy Dukes. That's why you get R-worded. But in honor of those women who are not as strong evolutionarily, if you want to do a show where I live do date rape drug and you can watch the effects come over me while I describe what I'm feeling so that you can better identify as soon as possible if you think your drink has been drugged and what to look for, I'll do that for you, Lauren. But don't ever bring me this willfully ignorant, in a yurt, unslaved bullshit again, and we're still cool because you've been a good sport. Watch it with that mute.
We are cool. Okay. All right. Well, I'd love to have you here, and I suppose next time I have you, it will be to watch you experiment with drugs on a live stream, and that will
not
be very
experiment. I've been there. No. See, I've been there. Like because the dude overdosed Bill Cosby is why he was scared and got me to do meth to not have me comatose dying in an emergency room.
Right. Well, I'm glad.
And everybody's more worried about a consensually legal short relationship. Like I'll spell it like a hoe. No, we were ongoing, off again. Everybody's had their on again, off again shit. She ended it when we stopped, it was well past any of the dates people were worried about. So I want to do a show so you get the date rape demo question so ladies can better understand, because you have a limited window between drinking it, recognizing it, and being already carried out from people that don't think anything's up. That's a short window, and I'll show you the process. But if you get that, I also want one where I try and get you as close to this sob shit. Like we're going to find the line you're at for what you think an individual freedom is on a rock, on a globe in space. Like there was humans before America. There was humans before Constitution. I want to know where your line is on all around spiritual moral line. Everyone should this, but also that brings everyone a responsibility level.
I agree. Well, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for coming. And we'll have you
I appreciate the chance to mostly say my piece. Thank you.
What did you not get to say?
I'm just saying, Lauren, we were in the middle of the thing where it's I do see your potential. I was totally honest about that Oprah shit and look, even at the beginning, I have a concern for those flight logs, and you still didn't kind of leer away from the attempt at a 15, the dude that didn't kill himself, he was still in operation back then, and we weren't even talking about it. I had no feelings of taking advantage of a girl that was wilder than I am now. Like, yeah, man, it's illogical, Lauren. There's a lot of illogical shit. I want to help you work that out. That's why Paul talks shit about me emailing him. You don't want to do this live. I could give you a lot of advice on how to handle some of these streets, and it doesn't have to be right here. Like, that's what Paul didn't get. Just read the fucking email, and well, he did. He did. He read.
Okay. Well, all right.
So me being back, you're saying there's a chance.
A chance at what?
I'm turning the return visit for date rape drug description. I was turning it into the Jim Carrey shit. Paul would say, like, read a fucking room, Lauren. Read between the lines. But you know that because he's put it to you plenty of times. Dude, Carl. If I find out Carl put his fucking channel on private to keep us from having a badass Paul video, he's got some explaining to do. Not pushing his channel because of it.
Okay.
Hey,
well,
Paul and his cult used to do this, so let's sign off like this. I mean, the greatest military corporation in the world also does this. You want to sing songs? No, let's Paul cult it out. This was Moose's thing.
Well,
back when Moose was the thing, this was their thing.
All right. Do you want to do that in 3, 2, 1, and